syrup dripping from his fake robe. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, September the 10th, 2024. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. What are you eating this evening?
Liverwurst on rye.
Liverwurst on rye. You say that to many people. They're gonna throw up.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're going to tell you it's disgusting. How the hell can you eat that? I am not one of those people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually jealous that you're eating it right now. I wish I had one myself.
I tell you what, I went out on the boat with Jim and my young son.
Mm-hmm.
There, I told you this story. Towards the end of the trip, there's this one guy had stopped off at a deli.
Right.
He got all these like artisan sandwiches and stuff. And he had a sack of them. He's pulling them out, going, okay, so I've got this, and listing all the ingredients that are on it. So one guy's got a brown paper bag. He was like, I packed a bunch of liverwurst on rye, so I don't know if anybody likes it. And everyone's like, everybody on that boat ate liverwurst on rye, except for my son, who was seasick.
Right.
So, of course, being the dad I am, I waved one under his nose.
Help it along quicker.
The captain yelled at me, like, don't make him throw up on my boat. And the poor guy with all the artisan sandwiches, nobody took one. Nobody ate one at all. It was we polished off the liverwurst sandwiches. Now, of course, when you go fishing, you've got fish scales in your hand, you've got bait on your hands.
Of course.
So liverwurst is probably the only thing that can overpower all those.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You put liverwurst, onions, a little mustard.
No onions for me.
No onions for you? Yeah.
No.
I sometimes I can have without onions, but I do enjoy it with onions.
I like it. I prefer it really on an English muffin.
Yeah, you say, yeah.
You get a good stack of liverwurst on there, and just the creaminess of the liverwurst, the crunch of the toasted English muffin is great. Mm-hmm. So when I do rye, a lot of people won't, they just do rye. I like to toast the rye. I like that crunch with it.
You like the crunch, yeah. I like just the plain rye. I like nice, good hearty rye bread, liverwurst, and onions. And I'm weird like this, not just like cut up onions or whatever. I want a not super thick, but a decently thick slice of onion right on top, and then
no onion for me. But I've been eating this since I was.
You would think it was liverwurst day, so, but it's not.
No,
not liverwurst day. You just happen to be eating.
I was eating liverwurst. You know why?
Why are you eating liverwurst?
Because I don't have a TV dinner.
Because you don't have a TV dinner. And why would you want a TV dinner today?
It's National TV Dinner Day.
Happy National TV Dinner Day. Yeah, we did that, folks.
They're still out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Swanson Hungry Man?
Swanson Hungry Man dinners. You remember those? Remember when they had the compartment with the compote, like the dessert?
Yeah, the apple, like that apple compote thing, or there was the brownie. I like
the brownie. The brownie, yeah.
Brownie was the best. And it didn't matter what you did with that corn, it dried the hell out.
Oh yeah, I was always
Yeah, you might as well just serve it with popcorn.
Right.
It just, but
I was like the ones that you had to like you cook it and the foil was over it, but you had to like one of them or two of them you had to rip the foil off because they needed to cook without foil. So yeah, it was a whole procedure, And
then when they became microwavable, then it was plastic. And there was no way to cleanly cut that plastic.
Nope.
You always had to be a plastic surgeon, and kind of put some of the plastic back.
Like literally a plastic surgeon. Yeah. There you go. But I got to be honest with you. I never really, I can't stand putting plastic food inside plastic, covered in plastic, in a microwave, and then I know it's fine. It's
actually not fine. They're saying that they're finding microplastic in the human brain now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lovely.
That might be Apple, though, injecting them into our skulls so they can control us.
Don't even get me started. Don't even get me started.
There's Pop poking the bear.
Exactly. Fortunately, our guest is in California, so it's not that big of a deal. And he's close to Apple too, but we'll leave that alone. So, Claire, at least a lot closer than we are.
Let's bring him on because I need to wash down the liverwurst.
Gotcha. Oh, by the way,
and here's a hint.
It's water. What?
This is it's my water glass, but well, it's a freaking 2-liter Stein. I'm not drinking 2 liters of beer on the show all at
I
once.
gotcha. All right,
I worked wrong.
let's bring our guest on because I'm thirsty.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, please, Kevin Drury, Kevy Spaghetti, if you will.
Gentlemen, nice to see you all.
Where?
Oh, he means us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show, Kev.
Thank you so much for having me again, guys. I had a riot last time. I know we went like an hour OT. I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen, but not all the time. So yeah, it's always fun when that happens. There's a reason, right?
Our last show was 3 hours.
Well, we did 2 shows.
Well, we did 2 shows. We had Marty Nagel on the show, and his name will come up again when I pour my beer. As a matter of fact, we'll discuss that. So, Kevin, how you been? So, Kevin had told me that he had hurt his foot, but he's healing.
Getting there, absolutely.
And you just moved.
Just moved, got married since the last time I saw you guys.
Oh, that's right. You were engaged at the time. You that's right. I didn't catch that because last time you kept calling your fiance. Now,
let's say now she's your wife.
And you said wife. And I did not pick up on that. I apologize. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks,
Absolutely.
guys. It's been great.
Absolutely. Well, that's always a good thing. Always a good thing.
If you're happy, we're happy.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
She shares her wine with me, and I get to share my beers with her.
There you go. That's the way it should be.
It's a symbiotic relationship.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So there you go. So now, hurting your foot, that was while you were trying out as a place kicker in place of Jake Moody for the 49ers, right?
You're actually not that far off, which is the semi-embarrassing part. If you want to know, so I'm also the events guy at Almanac Beer Company, and we're having a professional wrestling event. Okay. And I mean the full thing, the actual like 15 by 15 foot, ring. It's like 3 feet
with the turnbuckles and everything.
The turnbuckles and the ropes. And was speaking with the head guy, and he goes, "Well, I need a run up. I need room to do a run up because this is in the middle of our fodder and fermenter areas. I need to have.
Oh, you had it back there?
Yeah, we had it back there.
That's oh my god!
I know.
There's not that much room back. How'd you?
Again, it was a little snug, but we had fun with it. So he goes, "You got to place it so I can have room to run." So you don't because when the wrestlers enter, you don't enter. You just go, "Hey, I'm the master brewer. You stink. I'm getting in." You got to go and you run out and you high five everyone. You do all that stuff. So I think, well, now's my chance to do what I've always dreamed of as a kid is run down the center of the brewery, dive into the ring, and test it out. As I kind of get ready to charge forward, I set my right foot back and I take off, and it feels like someone hits me with a baseball bat in the back of the heel all of a sudden. And I'm just doubled over and ended up, I think like a lot of guys, well, I'll wait a week. I'm sure it'll go away. A couple of Tylenol. No.
Because we've done.
Oh, yeah.
No, you have tendinosis in your Achilles heel, and you have a 2-inch slice in your plantar fascia on the bottom of the foot.
Ouch.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, so my wrestling career was grand opening, grand closing.
It is as my younger son would aptly phrase it. Well, that was the opposite of fun.
Yeah. What wasn't a riot?
What did he use that for? Oh, I know what he used that for. Him and I did the Packy 1-chip challenge. And he said, well, that was the opposite of fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what was the opposite of fun for me? From about 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock this past Sunday. That was the opposite of fun for me.
What was that?
The Giants game.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of fun for the rest of us watching him go off on Facebook. Right now,
somebody has to entertain these people. The Giants certainly aren't.
John Donovan is now leading the John Flaydong Giants rant over under. He's got 2 points
out of the gate. He's the leader.
Yeah, he's got the lead right now.
Gotcha. All right, Sam. Anyway,
It's a long season.
It's a long season.
Longer
Long
and
way to
longer
go.
with every game.
Yeah. Well, no, actually, it's probably, depending on how things go, it may very well be a short season.
It's
because
the hockey season's coming.
If they don't change what they've done so far, this one game, right? I'm going to lose interest, and the posting's not going to happen as often. So,
just like last year.
Anyway.
Can we open beers? Let's open beers.
Yes, let's open beers.
Let's
open beers. Let's open beers. So I'm thirsty. You're thirsty. We're all thirsty. Let's open beer. Kevin, what are you drinking?
Sir.
What are you drinking first?
You know what? I think in keeping with our Bay Area theme, I'm gonna go with one of my favorites here. A classic, if I say so myself. One of the best porters you used to be able to get here in the Bay Area.
Anchor! There it
Ladies
is.
and gentlemen, the last Anchor Porter I will ever have with a hair stuck on it for some reason. Yes, the last Anchor Brewing
Didn't come
Porter.
off your head.
Yeah, we know that one. That ship sailed. Absolutely. In my opinion, just one of the best porters
When
you can buy.
anybody talks about porters and like, well, what porter should I try? I said your first porter you should ever drink is an Anchor Porter.
Yes,
Because it's the benchmark. Are there better porters? There are better porters out there. There's some that I like better. But it's just the perfect porter.
It's just right down the middle. And I can only describe it as silky.
Yes.
It's so silky, smooth. It's not one of those ones that tastes like an ashtray. It doesn't taste like, a pint of black coffee. It's just a beautiful, right down the middle.
Yep.
Or dark
boo-boos porter.
or dark brown water.
Yeah.
I can't stand those. Just the body's just way too thin on it. It can't hold a head worth a damn. Might as well. You can't even call it a brown at that point.
Yeah, it's like, did you just overdo a browner or
Yeah.
overdo a Martin?
Yeah.
Someone did something wrong.
Exactly. Okay. We got a comment from Doug Smith already. Yeah, he's flexing his muscles because the Patriots won on Sunday.
Yes, they won.
And he said Daniel Jones is trash.
Yeah, we're aware of that.
We are aware of that, Doug.
We're very
But
aware
thanks for sharing.
And speaking of Doug Jones, and John, I haven't told you this. I have I did order a bottle of Malort. He just makes that same face. The thing is, I've lost some chest hair, so I need to replace it.
You gotta
So I need
replace
some
it.
Malort.
I still like in the group going back and forth with Doug last week. He's saying, I really don't like the flavor of you. You typed Malort and autocorrect changed it to Mallory.
Mallory, yeah.
I really don't like the flavor of Mallory.
Most people don't.
A couple of years ago, the owner of Almanac gave everybody a bottle of Malort for Christmas. We're like, that is such a cruel joke.
Because he hates everybody?
And it came with a little Malort Christmas bauble, too, which is kind of brilliant. We all have Malort Christmas ornaments.
I almost ordered it with the 2-shot glass. Like, no, I'm never ordering it again after this. This Malort bottle is probably going to last me about 18 years.
Yeah.
That's probably when I'm going to die. We'll see. We'll see what happens first, if I finish it or I die first. Or if it's the cause of my death.
Right. So what are you drinking?
So considering I just finished off some liverwurst, I decided I needed a German Pilsner.
Of course.
So we're going with the Zapf Pils.
Thank you.
So, thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
You're more than welcome.
I will email you after I have mine.
This is a 5% German style Pilsner, and it's got what do we have in here? We've got Tettnang and Mittelfruit.
Yes. Wanted to keep it kind of traditional on that one. We love, as much as we love all the kind of new, funky, weird, not weird is the wrong word, but new HBC, yada, yada, yada hops. There's nothing wrong with the classic noble hops here and there. Not at all.
And you got them from Germany?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And notice I've poured it into a beer Stiegel.
I like that.
Right. And the thing is, we've always called them beer Das Boot, and that comes from Beer Fest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just recently, Marty Nagel had posted on Facebook that everyone calls it the wrong thing. It is not Das Boot. It is the Beer Stiegel. Beer Stiegel. And I've got the Air Force logo.
Now you're drinking it wrong though. Point the toe away from you and then drink it.
Turn it.
Like this,
Yeah.
so like a splash. Actually, what I tend to do is I tend to drink it toe down and then turn.
And
That
then-
way, in case I forget, it's just like, why aren't I getting the rest of my beer? Oh,
right.
that's right, I need to turn.
So it's in the safety's on, basically.
Yeah,
Safety's
basically.
on.
But yeah, so John knows why I've got an Air Force beer Stiegel.
Yes, I do.
My old
He
son
loves the
knows.
movie Top Gun.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, I don't.
Oh,
No, my son's in the Air Force, so I had to get one
oh,
of these.
cool.
Oh, this is so good.
Thank you.
Did you expect it not to be?
No, not at all. But but the thing is, and he's right, the German noble hops make a huge difference
Sure, absolutely.
because this drinks like a Weihenstephan Pilsner.
Really?
You know, it's got a lot of the same character to it. Even the malt bill's not that far off from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
I want to say on that one, we actually made a point to go out and get malt from Weiermann for that one.
I really oh god, when I was in Bamberg, I saw the Weiermann plant,
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, it's Disney World for beer geeks. But I've got up there. You can just to the side of that stein. There is a Weihenstephan Stiegel, but I figured it was a little too small for a 16 ounce. I think it's only a 12-ounce Stiegel.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
John, you've taken your picture already, so now you can shows.
I have taken my picture. Hold on.
Oh god, this is yums. I like this.
All right. Yeah, I've taken my picture, so I am drinking from Bellingham.
John, he only sent one. Sorry.
You're full of it, sir. With all due respect.
Full of a lot of things.
From Bellingham, I try to keep everything West Coast or close to West Coast since I don't have the beer that Kevy sent. But Bellingham, Washington, Structures Brewing. It's their Kolsch style ale.
love a Kolsch.
Yeah.
Bellingham is a cute town. I didn't get to go there when I was on the West Coast. Oh, that's the state bird of New Jersey right there.
There you go.
Did you know that?
The state bird of New Jersey.
That is the goldfinch.
That's the goldfinch.
Yeah, you know how many goldfinches you see in Jersey?
This one right here.
That's about it. We poisoned them all apparently. But Bellingham,
and they all flew out to the West Coast.
and they're in Bellingham now.
They're in Bellingham now.
It's probably Bellingham. I'm pronouncing it like they're from
Bellingham.
Massachusetts.
Bellingham,
right?
yeah, Bellingham.
Yeah.
It's Bellingham. And but when we took the tram to Vancouver, went right through Bellingham. I'm like, we need to come back here. This just from the train alone, it's like this looks like a cool town.
Interesting.
Prost.
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 So yeah, there you go. Ooh, that's tasty. I like that.
I do like that.
I do like that. I do like that a lot. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Anyway, all right. So
Dumb and Dumber. Right?
Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so what's new at Almanac, Kev?
It's new. Well, we're opening up our second tap room, our second location ever.
Where? Do tell.
Only about 20 minutes away in downtown Oakland. We're very excited about that. So without being too overly verbose about it, you may have heard the Oakland A's are leaving Oakland.
And you're taking over the stadium.
Yes,
That's a big tap room.
That's a big tap room.
It's gonna be a whole thing full of Croisen. Yes, but they're leaving, and the response was we got I don't want to say it's just another minor league team called the Oakland Ballers. It kind of goes back into.
That's a great name.
Mm-hmm, it goes back to some sports history here in Oakland, and they set it up in a really lovely little park, and they started opening. It was actually an old warehouse district, and we put a spot right next to it, right across the street.
Genius.
We're going to open our second tap room, and we're very excited to have it there. We should be opening, honestly, in the next month or so.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's ready to go. It's ready to pour, but it's one of those things where you have to wait for all the government nonsense, inspections, and all this red tape, yada, 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 to get done. So we're ready to go when they are, but we're pretty excited about that. So that's a big leap for us.
That's great.
To have two
That's
locations.
very cool.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
That is really cool.
And how's the Oakland craft beer scene looking? Because I know there's quite a few in there.
I was gonna say, so it's been a little weird here on the West Coast and in the Bay Area. We've had we seem to be in a bit of a valley right now.
Okay.
Some of the big names are not doing as good as they used to do, and some have just started shutting down places. Harmonic, who we love, most on the peninsula, they shut down one of their.
I was gonna ask about Harmonic because it's one of the places I wanted to get to when I was there.
Yeah,
and never got there.
Now they say it's one of those. We'll never really find out what happened. The people I know on the inside said it was more of a rent issue where I don't know exactly how the real estate market on the East Coast works, but basically you move into a
Probably
place
worse.
okay. You get a great rate to start off, and as soon as your business takes off and it's time to renew the lease, the landlord goes, "Hi, I heard you have a lot of money. I'd like it, please."
We know this music.
Okay, so yeah, Harmonic, I was told, had kind of done that the same way. They'd done well for themselves. They put up a little stand outside the Chase Center where the Warriors play, and that thing's going gangbusters.
Oh, wait a second. No, I've been to that one.
Yeah, so they shut down one of their tap rooms. You've seen those guys get hurt. We've seen Buck Wild Brewing go in Oakland also go out of business. That was really unfortunate. I'm sure there's one or two more that I'm forgetting, but we seem to be in a bit of a lull right now, truthfully. Now, I was reading a business magazine that says, "Oh, this looks like the bottom of the trough," but I'm not quite convinced. Just because the people I see around me are saying, and we're getting a lot of, "Please come in for a beer. We'd really appreciate it if you could come in for a beer."
Yeah.
Yeah, we're seeing this across the country. Actually, it's not endemic to the Bay Area. And we've talked about it. We've talked about it on the show quite a few times. And there's so many things back and forth about it. A lot of the breweries just couldn't recover from COVID.
Yeah,
they couldn't swim their way out of the debt that came with that. But it's also right now the younger generations they're not turning to craft beer the way the millennials and above did, and even the millennials turned away from it a little bit. But Gen Z they don't drink beer. Some of them don't drink at all.
Yeah,
good chunk of them. And when they do, they're drinking seltzers, they're drinking canned cocktails. It is National Canned Cocktail Day today, by the way.
Yes, this is true. It's International Canned Cocktail.
International Canned Cocktail.
Happy Day. International Canned Cocktail Day, everybody.
So have at it if you got them. But this is and also spirits. So this is what's going on, and that's eating into the beer market. And it's got to be something like that because it's not just craft beer feeling it. The big boys are feeling it too.
Yeah.
So beer sales are down all around, and I think that's probably COVID's a big contributor, but I think the major contributor is beer is kind of out of stock, going out of style with the younger generations.
But what? See, I agree 100%, and and we've talked about it many times, right? But on the show and not on the show. But what I don't get is that, or I can't say I don't get. What I don't buy is that it's just purely Gen Z. Okay, because
no, it's not.
If it was just purely Gen Z, that means everybody that from Gen Y and the millennials, if you will, and Gen X, and even the boomers that are still out there and drinking beer, and there's plenty of them.
Those sales would still be there.
Sales would still be there, and they're not. So it's Gen Z and then some.
Well, the boomers are dying, but the boomers didn't drink craft beer anyway.
Some of them did. Some of them. I mean, not enough to make a difference or a dent, but enough.
And our generation is getting old and fat, and we're trying to be healthier. So,
speak for yourself.
You're a year behind me, and
no, I'm not talking about the fat part. I'm talking about the trying to be healthy part.
Oh, try to be healthy part.
I was like, hang on now, hey, let's keep it simple, boys.
I'm like, seriously, you normally own the old fat thing.
I just did.
You just did. That's why I was confused. Like, what do you mean? No, so some of us, and I'll admit, I've cut back a little bit. That's why there is so much beer on this shelf, because it's not in this. It's not in the belly.
Get in my belly.
jokes aside, I'd throw my weight behind that too. The people I see coming into the tap room.
See what you did there.
Yeah, thank you. Like I mean,
well played, sir. Well played.
When I was trying to sort of thin myself out to get my wedding suit, you're sort of counting calories, and you kind of tell yourself at a certain point, okay, so if I keep this up and I eat this healthy thing, but if I have one IPA.
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing's moot. I've blown it for the day. It's shot.
I found a way to much easier to get into that suit without dieting.
Get a bigger suit.
Buy a bigger suit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, how much tape measure do you have?
Oh my God, he ran out of chalk.
Yeah.
No, they always go up one side, across, and then down the other.
Yeah.
if you watch Friends.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They move it over.
Is that the way they do it? Yeah, that's the way they do it.
In prison.
That was a great scene.
That's good. Anyway. So, but yeah, no, I honestly, it's, and I could see it too, because I mean, look, Dave, you and I know. We've had multiple conversations about it. We
actually remember some of them too.
Some of them we remember, and we get to a point where we're beard out, right?
Yeah.
Now it doesn't happen like for a long time. It's just
I shave my beard off
a certain point of the day, right? And then the next day we're back, right? Kind of thing. But still, get to a point where we're beard out. So much so that we actually started another podcast for cocktails.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we go every other Wednesday on a podcast called Anna Chaser. That's for spirits and cocktails.
Yeah. And we throw beer in there too.
We've been
as Tom Mulville says, but I digress.
And that's our co-host.
And that's our co-host, the three of us. Yeah. But in any event, I honestly believe that it's not. Here's the thing, and maybe this is just me being way too optimistic. Maybe this is me just for a lot of reasons being way too optimistic, but whatchamacallit, I don't believe it's done, right? I don't believe it's gone. It's it's the bubble bursting in the late 90s like it did again, and we'll see where it goes from there for the next 15 years or so. I believe it's a valley. It's obviously the deepest valley we've had so far since the 90s, right? But I do believe it's a valley, and I do believe we'll come back. And I do believe this time of year helps it come back, because this is what I like to call beer season, right? From Labor Day to New Year's, for me, is beer season. And it kind of extends a little bit. January, just purely because of dry January, right? But, there's still football, right? I'm still drinking beer while I'm watching football. There's the playoffs. Obviously, if the Giants aren't in it, I'm not drinking as much. If the Giants are in the playoffs, I'm certainly drinking a lot, right? But that's besides. But that hasn't happened in many years, except for 2 years ago. But in any event, and then the Super Bowl, and then you got St. Patrick's Day. I mean, technically, like we always say, like the three slowest months of the year for beer are January, July, and August. Yeah. So we've been feeling it for the last couple months. Now it's time for a little bit, it's all the flavors too. It's Oktoberfest, it's the pumpkins, it's the fall seasonals, it's the Christmas seasonals coming out, and the holiday seasonals, the darks, the stouts, the winter seasonals. This is beer season, right? So this is the time to make that push, and hopefully we can get some of that back.
It's always beer season for me.
And you know what I mean.
Oh yeah. And anyway, that sense of occasion is really, really helpful. The
100%.
dark beers, the launching of the pumpkin beer, the launching of the Oktoberfest, and you have to have your Oktoberfest party, and those are always really fun.
As a matter of fact, Friday night going to Hofbrauhaus in Manhattan, because they're going to roll out that barrel.
There you go.
And it was the great thing, if you have a Hofbrauhaus in your city this Friday, get there, because they're going to roll out the Oktoberfest. And if you're there and you're online and you get there before the keg kicks, free beer.
There you go. Depending on what my day looks like, I may meet you. I don't know. We'll see. But we will see. Tom just commented, and he says, "Oh, that's me." He said.
We said that's our host. Yes.
And then he said, "We've been here before. Chicken Littles have been crying. The sky is falling for more than a decade." And he said, and as well, the demographic is ever changing.
Always changing.
Absolutely give him that.
But I'm doing my part by drinking lots of beer. I've already opened my second.
Yo, I'm about. Why don't you tell us what your second is while I finish my first and open my.
My first thing is I
On
poured it into my beautiful. This is the only glassware I brought back from the Seattle Vancouver trip.
Oh.
Would you believe I didn't bring back any shirts, John?
I don't believe that.
You know why?
Why?
There was no 2X's at all. Apparently, they're all skinny fuckers there.
Apparently.
I don't get it. But this is from Dagerad. So this is actually their lambic glass, but I didn't pour a lambic into it.
Yeah.
But of all the stuff that Kevin sent me, this is the closest thing that may come to a lambic.
Wow.
Out of the color and what I said, can you guess what it is, Kev?
Out of the color? No, I sent you that a hot minute ago. I can't quite remember a lot of things. I also drink beer.
Boom.
Oh, one of the best we've ever done. Thank you very much.
This is beautiful. So tell us about the farm to table series here.
I'm glad you asked. So, being overly verbose about it, one of the reasons we call ourselves Almanac, of course, goes back to the old book, The Farmer's Almanac.
Of course.
Damien, our founder, started by basically going to farmers markets, picking out local fruit that, the farmer's right there. He's right behind the table. Grab that, bring it back home, brew with it, 24 or 72 hours later, and then distribute that. And we had a great time with that. And we loved that. One of the things we learned in that process was a lot of breweries will say, I think it's time for us to do a pumpkin porter. Great. Go get me pumpkins. It's July. Pumpkins are not in season.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, the American business machine never ever stops. So who's got pumpkins in season? And I don't know, some country that's not the US will have pumpkins. So they'll bring pumpkins in. But I would say if we tried that, we'd say, well, Jesus, fruit is just not nearly as good as the fruit we got from the farmer's market. And the lesson we learned from that is listen to the farmer. When the farmer says, this is what you need to have, or if you have to brew the fruit or whatever it is, this is the one. Don't do that. Don't buy that thing from Chile. Buy this. This is fresh. It came off of a vine or a tree yesterday. Go with this. So that's kind of our vibe. So instead of us picking things to, brew with, we have our sort of collection of farmers we have in California, Washington, and Oregon. We'll say every, week or two, what do you got? What's really good? What's really awesome? What can I have? And on that one in particular, that has Muscat grapes. And that was during the grape harvest. And they said, we have an excess of Muscat grapes. They're spectacular right now. People are used to having them in a very sweet format, i.e. Moscato, that kind of, no offense to anyone, it's not my style, that really sugary sweet wine.
Right.
Try this. Put them in the sour.
We're going to come back to that sugary sweet wine thought.
Yeah. Let them really dry out with the lacto fermentation, and you have the Gold Rush. It's one of our favorites. And the reason we called it Gold Rush is, of course, California grapes. Yep. And the minute we tried this, Joao, our head brewer, we all just went, we're going to nail this. We got it. Good job, everyone. High fives all around.
Yeah, you did. This is fantastic. The tartness. And I love that it wasn't left in the barrel so long that the oak is overpowering the fruit. The oak's there. You can tell it's there. And there's almost like, maybe it's the water, the way you treat the water. There's almost a little minerality to it. So this is
absolutely
drinking. Yeah, it's drinking almost like a carbonated wine.
The water we get here in California comes from the Hetch Hetchy River, so you are going to get definitely some minerality. We tend to have very high or very hard water here in the Bay Area.
Yeah, and the thing is, whoever's decision it was to leave it in rather than to treat it out, that was genius.
Jesse's a smart guy,
which means he may have pulled a little page out of the vintner's book.
Yeah.
Knowing that these things work together.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is what we're going to go with, and that's genius. I love this. This is fantastic.
And Tom just commented. He said, "Kevin, I love that farm to table description, and you're exactly right."
Oh, I appreciate that, Tom.
And then he also said, "Oh, damn, I'm a bad man. I'm drinking wine."
There's room for everybody here.
Yeah. There's one thing, even before we started the podcast about that, every now and then Facebook, when I had a beer samurai persona on Facebook, every now and then I post up something that was titled "A Samurai Does Not Live on Beer Alone."
Yes.
And that was wine, that was beer. There's all kind of the other things that get me a little tipsy that I enjoy. So, so that's always the place.
I'm gonna place a bet right now that we could probably, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm gonna place a bet to say that we could probably convince Samurai that by the end of this podcast we can get him to drink wine.
I'll take that bet.
There's no. All right, fine. See if you can talk me into it.
I'm going to try and talk you into it.
I tell you what, though, but Tom's right. His description of the farm to table,
100%.
What I'm thinking of, what it brings to mind for me are the great chefs. The great chefs who get up first thing in the morning, go to the farmer's market, and they're picking out their ingredients. Whatever's the freshest, whatever the best. They're sniffing everything. They're tasting everything. They're talking to the farmers. Whatever's the best, and they bring that stuff home. Then to the restaurant. Then they start writing the menu for the day.
For the day. Yep.
And that's how. So that's the vision I got as you started to describe. Jesse at the market, buying the grapes. Guarantee you, he popped a few in his mouth first.
When a chef is at a farm, a market, wherever he's going in the morning early, and seeing what's fresh and seeing what's new and seeing what even if it's seafood to catch at the port or whatever, and then decides what he's going to make and brings it back and writes the menu. That's fan-fucking-tastic.
That's art. That's art.
It's art.
One thing I absolutely love to see, and it kind of tickles me a little bit. I worked at another brewery where we used a lot of fruit product, and it came in like 55-gallon drums, already processed, pureed, and fruit product. You pump it in. Not very sexy, no offense. One thing I love,
product out of Venezuela.
This is just, and that tickles me, is that when the farmer brings it in his Dodge 2500 in dirty white, not like unsanitary. Let me walk that back for a second.
Stained.
In used white buckets from a farm, and he's got dirty hands, and there's still a leaf in the bucket here too. This has not gone through a 9 process, factory somewhere that's the size of Vermont. This is just a guy picking peaches, putting them in a bucket, and bringing them to us, and I absolutely adore that. Like I said, you still get the King's Orchard stained, well-used white bucket, and he says, "Can I have the buckets back when you're done?" Of course.
100%,
yeah. We'll even rinse them off for you.
And then Tom just said, "Yes, I love when I run into local chefs at a farmer's market. I do too, 100%."
And it's if you were a fan of Bourdain, and you watched his show, any town that he went, if he was feeling out of place, it wasn't even that. First thing he did, any town he went to the market. Because it would tell him what are the ingredients. This is going to tell him how they cook. So the fact that they've taken that, expanded that into beer, that's the way beer used to be.
Yeah.
Going way back in the day. So we never, we didn't have refrigeration. We didn't have airplanes. Ways to get all these things from below the equator when it's summer there and winter here.
Yeah.
So the fact that that some breweries have that mindset to bring that back, that's amazing. And the results, when they say the proof's in the pudding, the results in the glass.
There you go.
Thank you.
And speaking of what I said before about convincing Dave to try and drink some wine by the end of the show, Tom said, "Just don't let him pass out again."
It was one time.
It was one time, and it was 4 years ago. But
Tom never lets you live anything down.
My second beer, I stayed. I stayed.
You stayed in the family.
I stayed west. I didn't stay West Coast. I stayed west. I dialed it back to Colorado. Wiley Roots Out of Office Lager.
I love the sign.
There you go. Out of Office Lager. It's an American lager brewed with barley and flaked rice.
Ooh,
flaked rice. Very interesting.
Yeah, and it's actually really tasty.
That should go down nice and easy.
So I've got my second one here as well in this fancy new Glarus glass my friend bought for me.
Very nice.
Ooh, new Glarus. You want to talk about farm table?
Yeah. This is actually from a place I got to visit a couple of months ago that I'm utterly in love with on your guys' side of the country.
Ooh.
This is from Flight Deck Brewing in Maine.
Very nice.
I had in Brunswick, Maine, had the best time there, the nicest staff in the whole wide world.
I didn't make it there with my travels. How did I miss that?
Super cool people. They were on an
Freaking
old,
Brunswick.
like a Air Force base or something like that, and they have like fly-ins and there's planes everywhere. But amazing staff, great pizza. Had a wonderful time. Can't wait to go back.
Ooh, you never say great pizza to people from our area. We'd be like, sure. So Brunswick.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just above Freeport.
No, I know where it is. I've driven through Brunswick.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know. I wonder how long they've been there.
There is a decent beer scene in Maine that I did not expect. I was told it was there. I finally got to see it.
That is an understatement, my friend.
By the way, just to answer your question, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It's Portland, Maine alone. It's one of the top 3 beer towns in the country, I believe.
So much so that Dave and I actually have been together in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
On Carrie's birthday.
On Carrie's birthday, yes. There you go. Yeah.
11 in the morning. That was
11 in the morning. We were drinking.
That wasn't taken. It wasn't taken.
No, yeah, no. That was probably about 12:30. 12:30.
Yeah, we've been there for a little bit.
Yeah, but
Can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
this is very true.
That is absolutely
Very
correct.
very much truth to that statement.
Yeah.
We have
Very
practiced
much
that a few-
truth to that statement.
Yes. He's 1.5, not even 1.5 beers in, folks.
Kev, quick story. I've said it before on the podcast, but you haven't heard it, and maybe somebody listening hasn't heard it either. I'll tell it really quick. When on that trip we were up there, this was that was 3 years ago, over 3 years ago now. So it was that was just after the pandemic, right? So we're up in Portland, and we go to David.
It's not the Navari Res story again, is it?
Yeah. David never been to Navari Res, and it's in Portland. It's in Old Port. One of the best.
It's a legendary craft beer bar.
Legendary craft beer bar in the Northeast. So we're there, and we're both asking for beer off the menu, and they're out now. They have an amazing bottle list and an amazing tap list. The bottle list is even better.
Yeah.
But they're out of things because the pandemic had just happened, right? So yeah, we're out of that. No, we don't have that. No, we don't have that. Right. So finally, I go. I want. You know what? I'm a huge Stickel Alt fan. You'll find out why in about 20 minutes when I have my next beer.
That was the first thing you ordered, actually. You saw it on the list, and you're like,
well, because I was going to order a couple of things that you were ordering. You were asking, and they were out of them. So yes, it was physically the first thing that I asked her for. But I said
because it was Urige.
It was Urige. So it's a Urige Stickel Alt. So I'm like, I'm going with that. Boom. She says that we have. Boom. She goes and brings it. She comes back, hands it to me, and looks at Dave again and says, all right, and have you picked anything else? He asked her for one more thing, and she's out of that too. He says, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to go with the Urige too. She goes, sorry, that was the last one.
So I need to get back because everyone raved about this place. My experience was less than stellar. So I do need to get back because I know the reputation, and I know that they were just out of COVID, and there was such a so many places. The bars were really out of a lot of stuff. They had a lot of local stuff.
They were really out, yeah.
But they were out of a lot of things. So we had a lot of fun that day. A lot of fun that day. But so I'm putting that brewery on my list, Flight Deck, for next time I go.
Absolutely, just the nicest people.
That was basically his reaction when she said that he was.
Give me one more reason, man. One more reason.
That was I'm gonna cut you. Cut you. You tell me no one more time, I will cut you. No, I would never do that. So, yeah, I'm going through pictures here of Flight Deck. It looks really cool.
Wow.
I'm gonna have to get up there next time we go up to Portland. I'm gonna have to go up to Flight.
Highly recommend those guys. That and Bissell Brothers.
Oh well.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, close to Bissell Brothers is probably the most underrated brewery in all of
Maine.
All of Maine.
Portland. Yeah.
Maybe New England.
Yeah.
Bunker makes some great stuff. They have one. Yeah,
They're literally a mile, not even a mile away from Bissell Brothers.
Huh.
They're actually
Throw that on
about
my old list here.
they're probably about half a mile from the from them, but you'd have to swim.
Well, yeah, it's on the other side of the Four Rivers, so
Yeah.
you got to kind of go around. So it's about a mile drive, but it's as the crow flies, about a half a mile.
Yeah.
So
they make a Czech Pils Czech lager called the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's why I fell in love utterly with Flight Deck. They did tankards of what they call their pre-flight check. Again, all the nautical, aviation check. And I'm not that guy who orders the same beer, but that day, there you go. That day, I think I ordered 3 in a row or something like that. We were there for our niece's engagement party, so I think after the third one, my wife gave me the knock it off. We have to be not now.
There's a time and place. This is not
exactly. This is not it. Right?
This is delicious.
I've been there, done that. I've been there, done that. It's usually with a dark mild, right? So So at one place I sat, 24 beers on tap. I'll have the dark mild. All right, you finished that. What do you want? I'll have a dark mild. All right, you finished that one. What do you want? I'll have a dark mild.
Yeah. And you lie to yourself and go, "Can I have the half pint of the dark mild?"
Yeah, just another half. Yeah,
I've actually done that with a dark mild as well. It was actually at where John's beer is poured.
Yeah.
Sadly, it wasn't actually his beer.
It's not.
His brewer made it.
Right.
But his brewer made it.
Right. So.
Well, because I wanted to kind of not drink so high.
Well, no, it's 3.8% dark mild, so it's perfect, But yeah, the beauty part about that is where I was drinking it. We've actually had this particular brewery that I'm talking about on the show is old Our Town Brewing in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. But I probably had 5 of them, right? But he and the owner's sitting there, and we're going back and forth, and he goes, "You got to try other beers." So he just starts pouring me everything else. Taste this while I'm drinking them out. So it worked out great. So, yeah.
I mean, on my side of the bar, as the front of house, that's also my favorite thing to do. When someone comes in and they're enthusiastic about the beer, and I'm not that busy, I'm going to have the best day ever telling you everything there is 100%. To know about those beers.
I love doing that. Love doing that.
I've watched the man at work. I've watched people come in, look at the beer list. They don't drink beer, and him find them something on that list that they liked. I've seen him do it. And he asks the right questions. He understands what they like, what they don't like. Pours them a little something, they like it, and then boom, he's done. He's got it down.
This is going to sound really ridiculous, and I wouldn't blame you if you laughed. You ever seen? There's a documentary called Jiro Dreams of Sushi. You ever heard of it? No. He's a legendary, he's the greatest sushi chef in Japan is altogether. Really? And I mean, it takes a year or something. I might be exaggerating to get a seat. It's like a 4-seat, place at his sushi place. And the thing is, when he serves you something, he looks right in your eyes, and he's gonna watch your expression if you go. Or he's going to go off that. And he's going to ask you a bunch of questions. And then if you say, well, I really like this, but you don't have that, he's going to find, okay, yes, I don't have what you want, but what's that flavor profile that you like? And then I'm going to find something with the fresh local ingredients that I have, and I'm going to flip that back at you. And I thought, okay, now hang on. Because, I mean, I know no one likes to hear this, but it's an everyday situation that happens to everybody in the craft beer world. Someone comes in and goes, "You'll have a Modelo, please." And you go, "Okay." Now everyone's first.
We have that friend.
We do have that friend.
He works in the craft brewery industry, though.
He doesn't
anymore. But, that's right. He's in stationery now.
Okay, sure. Why not? Is that the Scranton, Pennsylvania?
Hopefully temporary, but I'll leave that alone.
It's not Thunder Mifflin, but okay.
Yeah, that's a joke. Thank you.
Not Thunder Mifflin. Yeah,
it's the whole range of my East Coast knowledge.
That's what she said.
No!
Flight Deck Brewing and The Office. That's
Flight Deck Brewing and Scranton, Pennsylvania, the Electric City.
All right.
But I learned how to do that kind of a thing and it served me very well. Oh, but when people come, oh, Modelo, okay, hang on. Let's see. What you really mean is you want something with really low bitterness, smooth, light, drinkability, and that's refreshing. Great. There's about 5,000 other beers we can get that are not Modelo that are going to fill out all of those adjectives.
By the way, anybody out there that, and I'm not, this isn't belittling Wiley Roots out of office lager. It's fantastic. This is a delicious beer, but that flavor profile that Kevy's talking about. All right, if you're watching the show and you happen to like Modelo, for whatever reason that you're watching the show and you happen to like Modelo, drink this.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't give it to the big cartel down there below the border.
Yeah.
Don't give your money to them.
Exactly.
You ever love the question? I like ales and I like lagers. What should I have? Like, well, lucky for you.
I think you should have a glass of wine.
Lucky for you, everything I have is ales and lagers.
Or lagers.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that's great. There's so many stories I can go on. I've probably said them all on the show, so I won't. But there you go. It's
always fun when you're sitting at a craft beer bar, and this happened to Poor Henry's once, John. Mm-hmm. God rest their soul. COVID took them. But I'm sitting there with one of my friends, and there's a group on the other side of the bar.
Right.
Usually, when you go to a group of people, you get like that one person who's kind of their guru. And so their guru's telling them about the beers. He's talking about the beers.
Sure.
And my friend's looking at me and goes, "Is he right?" I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "You got to tell him?" I'm like, "Nope." He's like, "Why not?" I said, "Because I've been there. I've been that guy."
Yeah.
And because you've been told wrong or read something wrong, you start spewing it. Eventually, you're going to come across somebody who's going to tell you the right thing. And it's that journey of learning things. Mm-hmm. To this kid's credit, he followed the social media, and he knew who the Beer Samurai was somehow. And I had checked something in at Poor Henry's, and he saw that. He shows up, and he's like, he sits down, and he goes to introduce himself. I was like, "I know who you are." He goes, "How do you know who I am?" And I told him the story. He goes, "Oh God, that's so embarrassing." He goes, "And I think I know that." I think I remember that night, and I was saying this, and I later learned I was wrong. He goes, "What else was I wrong about?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you. You're going to learn. You're going to learn." I said, "But let's order some beers. Let's talk about the beers." And that's what we did for the rest of the night. Yep. So to the kid's credit, he had that mindset that he wants to impart his knowledge, but also he knows when he's wrong and wants to correct it. And that's what it's about.
That's what it's about. That's what it's always about. It's about sharing knowledge and learning things yourself. That's what's 100%.
Well, it's one thing I always taught my oldest son, because he's super, super smart. And I said to him, don't be too, show a little humility. The second that you think you're the smartest person in the room, you're all of a sudden the stupidest person in the room, because you've stopped learning. It's about two things. It's about knowledge and humility. Yep. 100%. Because if you're not humble, you're not going to learn.
The universe has an amazing way of letting you know that you're not the smartest guy in the room. And I'm not saying just one person, but myself included, all of us.
Everybody.
You kind of come out a little cocksure. You meet someone who's got, 2 more PhDs and whatever that was than you. And you go, I'm just going to shut up and listen, which is an amazing teaching moment.
And that is a great skill. Shutting up and listening is a great skill.
Listening is a great skill. Absolutely.
And to your point about the universe, people ask me my religion, and I put down paranoid agnostic because I'm really not sure about the nature of God, either capital or small g, but I'm pretty certain they're out to fuck with me. They love me. So that's a paranoid agnostic.
You resemble that remark.
Yes,
you absolutely do, Sam. Anyway, How is your what are you drinking again, Kev?
I'm drinking the Sub Hunter, their Imperial IPA.
Oh, that's right. From
hopefully you don't end
Flight
this
Deck, right?
podcast too quickly.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, it's lovely. It's got a nice big.
I still have half
malty
my
taste to it.
second beer, and I have a third there, and we have a lot more to talk about.
I've
So.
got about that much left.
There you go.
You have a fourth beer on deck, though. If I do have a fourth beer, I'm going to have to take my leave for about 45 seconds and run down to my refrigerator to get my fourth.
If I go to that fourth beer tomorrow, it's going to be really, really tough because Kev knows what it is.
Well, you know what? I'm probably not going to go because my third beer. I kind of foreshadowed it when we were talking about one particular beer in Portland earlier.
Yeah.
I'm going to enjoy that. I'm going to savor that beer. I'm not just downing that beer. So, or at least I hope I am, because I've never had that particular one before. All of these beers, by the way, that I'm having tonight, these 3 beers that I'm having tonight on the show, they are all Tavour beers.
Ooh.
Yes.
They're all Tavour beers.
And on our next show, I'll be drinking nothing but Tavour beers.
I will be as well. Because
unless you drink some of the Almanac.
Well, no, I'll probably have 2 Tavour beers. Well, I might have Almanac, but I might have 2 Tavour beers, or 1 Tavour beer, 1 Almanac beer, and one particular rye ESB that's coming out tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh, I've heard of that beer.
You've heard of that beer, yeah. And you might as well.
Oh yes.
There you go. And Kev might as well, if he's watching the show, he might have one along with us.
I hope so.
Yes. If you can get it to him on time.
If I get to him on time, exactly.
See what FedEx can do.
See what they can do. FedEx, UPS, what can Brown do for you? So we'll see.
Yeah.
That is their phrase.
That is what can Brown do for you.
Brown can get me a drink.
This is true. All right. What's going on with any new beers, or maybe not new beers, just seasonal beers coming up for fall or the holidays, for that matter?
Absolutely. So, I mean, one that we do so well, in my opinion, is our Rocktoberfest. I'll have to get some out to you guys. So, our Oktoberfest, our Munich Märzen / Oktoberfest.
Sure.
It's one of our favorites, one of our best. We do it every single year. On this one, we actually make a point to also go out and get the Barca brand, Barca malt from Weirmann as well, which is sort of the authentic way to do it.
Love it.
There are a million Munich type malts you can get from, raw malting out in, the Midwest. Nothing wrong with those things at all. Don't get me wrong, but we love to actually go get the real Weirmann German malt for this, German hops, and actually really, really, really let it lager. And we're really thrilled with it because the last couple of years they brewed one batch, and I'm at least as far as I'm concerned, the Taproom go, great, I'll take 8 half barrels for this week, 8 half barrels for the next week, and they say, well, we're going to be done before October. So this year we've done 2 batches of it.
Really? That's great.
So, yeah, we talked them into it. So I'll put it to you this way. If you're in the area, please grab some, because if we don't sell it all, the sales team's going to have my head on a spike. But it's a delicious beer. It's one of the best ones we do all the time.
You've got a head that would look good on a spike. And the thing is, it is a beautiful color, and I can prove that because when I was out there,
there we go.
Chestnut, very nice.
Yes, that's it right
Beautiful.
there. I drank that. Now on the other side there, that is the Kolsch. The Kolsch was out as well, and drinking the Kolsch is what got me this big bad boy.
I actually remember you sitting in that exact spot on my side left bar. I remember that. And by the way, your sticker is still on the tip pitcher.
Is it still on the tip? I love it. Love it.
Still on the tip pitcher.
I was wondering how long it would last.
Got to send you a couple of these.
I don't have any of those yet.
Oh, please do.
I will.
They go in my water bottle that I bring to work every day, so on and so forth. With coffee shops and a few select breweries that I love very, very much.
There we go. So,
that's a great one I'd like to do.
Any holiday beers beyond that?
Holiday beers, truthfully. So I know we have some. I don't quite know what they are. We're gonna let our head brewer, Joao and Aaron, take care of those. So those guys are always cooking up something kind of
Is it kind of a thing where you have holiday beers, but you don't have a specific one you do every year?
Yeah, no, we don't. for the holidays.
rotational thing, like one you do this year, you might not do for another 3 years. You bring it back then, kind of a thing.
Yeah, as far as like Christmassy type beers, holidays, they're just different every single year. We like to let the brewers really run with that.
That's awesome.
We just hired a brand new, actually promoted. Everyone kind of got bumped up a step. Right. So Drow, the head brewer, is now the like manager of the facility, and then we have Aaron, who's the new head brewer.
That's what happens when you open the second location, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna let him flex his muscles. Now I've seen boxes from the San Francisco Spice Company, big giant boxes. So I know they're cooking up something that's gonna be really, really interesting. And I know we also got some barrels from so Anchor Brewing used to, or still, I don't know if it's still functional, but it has the Hodling Distillery Company that makes like Old Ventura whiskey and rye. And we just bought a whole bunch of their barrels. So something's in that barrel right now.
Interesting. Very
interesting. 2 months so far. So I'm excited to see what's going on there.
Well, considering there's at this moment, there's a gap in the holiday beer climate of San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So
don't remind me of that, but yes. That hurts so much.
It does. But, a yogurt brand bought them. Well, the guy who owns a yogurt brand.
Chobani. Yep.
Chobani. What's the culture out there like now?
Yeah.
It took me a second, but yep. Ladies and gentlemen, 5 points to Mr. Jersey Johnny. Thank you very much.
There we go. I will toast that with this.
Cheers to that.
It's only the third time you choose to joke on the show.
I'm excited. I like it. It's the surprise, the nature of it. Yeah.
Do you? Oh, that's that one's a new one, so I'm going to toast that one.
There you go. So seriously, though, what's going on? Not to divert from what we were just
before you start with the question.
Aha!
There you go.
We're so proud of that one.
This is delicious.
Thank you.
Mosaic and Nelson.
Yes. Truthfully, I hate Nelson so much. I hate it so much.
What did he do to you?
What?
Oh, Nelson Savina.
He's not a bad guy. I mean,
New Zealand.
But we're going to get back to that because I want John to finish his thought of where he was going.
Please.
Do you remember where you were?
Oh, I know where I'm at. He can finish. I know where I was at.
Oh, so okay. Because we're going to talk about this beer now.
Yeah.
Talk about it. I'll come back to mine. Yeah.
So I mean, still along the same lines of we'd love to let the cooks cook. It's just sort of a great thing. Is
sure.
I mean, without being overly silly about it, one thing we've always seen if you've ever watched like Kitchen Nightmares and all that is the cooks are very often, sometimes not, very capable of doing something brilliant. But then you get this accountant, that accountant, and a floor manager, and then this guy who's like, no, do it this way. Let the cook what they want to do. In this case, this is another situation of we just told our head brewer, you know what? We think we need a new light-bodied summer. Not derogatory, but summer. I'm going to use air quotes all over that. Summer IPA.
Let's go with summery because it is very summery.
Yeah, nothing with too heavy of a body. Go do an IPA. Now yes, we can go get Citra, Mosaic, Simcoe all day long. Yes, we can. Let's take a little bit of a run with Nelson. The same way, oddly enough, Love, our flagship IPA, has Sabro. Sabro is one of those things. Again, when I got to Almanac, I hated it. Why would anyone drink this at all? Sabro's horrible. It tastes like coconut cardboard. Who wants this nonsense? And then about 2 months went by, and I can't get enough of it. So working with sort of oddball hops, I feel like is a bit of a strength of ours. And Seaside's no difference. We use a bunch of Nelson in that, some Mosaic. We went to a nice, summery, light-bodied, still refreshing, but still flavorful, but not knock you on your face IPA. He kind of troubleshot it here and there, and I'm with you, nailed it. Not always the biggest West Coast IPA guy, but when they gave us a splash of that, I was like, whatever that is, I want a picture of it right now just for me.
It's Nelson and what?
Nelson Mosaic.
Mosaic. Yeah.
Now, two things about this. First, Sabro. The reason you hated Sabro and think it tastes like coconut cardboard is I love Sabro when it's fresh. And for me, the oils in Sabro hops deteriorate faster than most other hops. And so then it starts throwing that cardboard. It oxidizes too damn quickly as far as I'm concerned. I love Sabro when it's fresh. When it's not fresh, I'm drain pouring it.
Yeah.
The second thing is we make fun of IPA houses on the show every now and then.
Oh yeah.
Because I'll say, oh, so now it's the same exact grain bill, but we've swapped out this one hop with this one hop out of the 7 hops in the hop bill.
Yeah. Like
anybody can taste the difference. So keeping an IPA to 2 hops, I think, is more than 2 hops.
Three's okay.
The limit. Three is the limit
depending on what they are.
But either single hop or 2 hop for me. And so what I love about this is, you said it earlier, Mosaic is almost always paired with Citra.
Yeah.
Right? Sometimes it's paired with Galaxy. But you'll see that too. There's so many things that have been paired with. It's the first time I've had it paired with Nelson.
Yeah, it was definitely a unique thing. I'm very proud of.
And what's really cool about this is the Nelson is pulling out it's pulling out the tangerine and tropical notes of the Mosaic, which sometimes get muted by the other hops.
Yes. It drives me a little bit bananas when people put a dank hop or too much of a dank hop on top of a citrus hop. What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
But the thing is, even though those aspects of the Mosaic are coming out, that white grape of the Nelson is there, and that's lending that nice light mouthfeel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you take the hop Vista and you pair it with Nelson, and you get a nice white grape and pear and melon flavor in a really
what do you get, Johnny?
You get Shell Collector. Right.
Ooh,
it's a beautiful beer. You got to send Kevin some Shell Collector.
I'll send some.
I'm ready when you are. Can't threaten me with a good time.
So.
That's really yummy. And the thing is, what I do like is the progression I've made here with the beers, because you start off with the German Pilsner.
Right.
Then you go to something that's got this tartness, this lovely tartness to it, and now I'm in a light-bodied hop bomb, and we talked about this in the show many times, where one beer can step over the other.
Yep.
If you drink this, then you drink that afterwards, you're not going to taste that other one.
Yep.
But this progression, no beer stepped over the other one.
Yep.
There was no alteration in the flavors.
Yeah.
So this progression really worked. And
You gotta know how you drink your beers. You have to know how you drink your beers. So.
And it's funny because John was telling me earlier today what he was going to drink. I'm like,
I set him in reverse.
He said in reverse. So I'm like, why the hell would you do that? He goes, no, I'm doing it. No, I started with the last one. I'm like, okay, no, that's fine.
And that's an important part of what I like to do. Like, you're saying you've seen me do what I do at the front bars. Hey, I'm new here. I don't know what to do. Great. Are you having one beer and done, or are you having 2? Let's plot the course for what we're going to do tonight.
100%.
Because if you're going to have a barley wine, let's do that. But then if you're going to have a light lager after that, let's go ahead and flip that situation. I've had a double
and call you an Uber.
yeah. I've had 2. Yeah, that's always a fun thing. So how many grapes are in the barley wine? Okay. That's a,
well, it's funny because there's these barley grapes that we use.
Yeah. You've heard of John Barleycorn? These are John Barley grapes.
Oh, I love John Barleycorn. I love that beer.
It's one of my favorite traffic songs, actually.
Oh yeah,
John Barleycorn Must Die. That's such a great song. But the thing is, I almost sell it short when I say it. Watching Kevin do what he does is great. He's really good at what he does. Because what you're missing here is the panache, the elan that he does this with. Yeah. You think he's lively on the show? No, you need to see him behind bar. To me, I think you gain energy from the people in front of you, the people that you're pouring from, and I think you see everybody who comes up. This is a new challenge.
Yep.
And I am up for this, and I know my shit, and I'm gonna walk them through this.
I strangely love it, and that's not me blowing smoke up my own.
No, that's not a strange thing at all.
It is. I mean, like, of course, the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday shifts are great. You know, it's very busy, but when there's nothing, I like to say my superpower is when someone comes in and says, "I don't like beer." Sit down. We're gonna get you going here.
That happened while I was there.
Yeah,
It was it was an older lady.
Mhm.
Long, almost white hair. You remember? I don't know if you remember her.
I believe, yeah. I mean, it's happened a few times. Yeah,
But it was, and I'm like, oh, I really don't like beer. And then you just, it just something kicked in you.
Oh, it's my favorite thing in the whole wide world. It's my favorite thing. That's where I feel like that's why I have this job. Like, no nonsense. That's why I have this job. There's nothing I love more than someone who comes in and says, I don't like beer, but I love an old fashioned. Okay, cool. What does an old fashioned taste like? It's got that nice, big, deep bass notes, big, bold flavors. Let's take a look at an IPA with some crystal malt. And by the way, you got to try it 3 times. You got to get past that little bitterness wall. We're going to get through that because, of course, you're also battling people's preconceptions of what beer is. That's, I think, one of the silliest things. I mean, even though you and I are all of us, we live in the craft beer world. We know about these things. A lot of people still don't. So being able to see past that and say, you know what? Look, I don't like beer. What have you tried? I tried Bud and Bud Light, Miller and Miller Light, and Corona. And you kind of got to, okay, that's great. Let's try this. Oh, this is great. And like, that's where, again, our Rocktoberfest comes into play. A lot of times they see that, that nice chestnut color. Go, oh, this is gross. You haven't tried it yet. You like an old fashioned. Let's try it. See how nice and kind of warm and lightly malty it is. You go, now take 3 sips. You're going to get over the bitterness wall. Oh, I like this. Can I have a picture of that? Of course you can. Absolutely.
Coming right up.
I love that. I absolutely love that part of the process. I mean, and then, I'm still very proud that I still have people who come back, every week, every month and go, you know what? I didn't like beer, but I know that one you told me about, I really dig it. Can I have another one? And then it really sort of brings out the pride out of me when they go, I brought my friend here to try that beer you told me about.
There you go. That's great.
And one of the things I will say all the time is everybody likes beer. We just have to find out the one that it is.
Exactly.
Everyone does. And I will still hold on to that.
I got something similar that I say. You say you don't like beer. You just haven't tasted the beer that you do like.
Absolutely. I mean, between ambers, stouts, barley wines, sours, fruited sours, we're going to find something. And I'm pretty sure, I'm successful about 95% of the time.
I opened my 3rd beer.
I'll say this. I got a story, but I know John's just opened his 3rd, so do that first.
Okay. What were we talking about before?
It's a shiny ass can.
What were we talking about before? I got to turn it around. So.
Well, I know what it is, so I'm cheating if I say because we were talking about
your Reach before in Portland or whatever. This is from Bizarre Brewing up in Washington.
How bizarre! How bizarre!
Seattle. They're in Seattle. Yeah, they're in Seattle. It's Skies of Red, and it is a Triticale.
Isn't that what the Tribbles ate?
The
Tribbles ate Triticale.
Did they? Yeah, I think they did.
They ate Triticale. We just passed Star Trek.
Star Trek, yeah. And what was that? What was the drink that the kid that Ron Howard's brother?
Yeah, Clint Howard.
Clint Howard was drinking.
I was
Tranya.
It was Tranya.
So anyway, yes, it's an alt beer. I'm drinking an alt beer. So
love a good alt beer.
There you go. So, and I put it in proper glassware.
Is your Riche? Oh no, it's your beer. Okay.
By the way, alt beers, unsung heroes. By the way, this time of the year, don't get a lot of love, don't get a lot of publicity. They're not sexy, but everybody kind of wants one,
especially if they've had them.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, what you do? There's these things, and another part of what he does is you've got these like life coaches out there, and the way Kevin walks someone through, it's almost like being a beer coach, a life coach for beer.
Sure.
And John knows this story. I had in my job, I had hired. I was a supervisor, and I hired a coordinator. First day, he's at my desk. The Beer Samurai logo, the original rendering of it, is at my desk. And he points at that. He goes, "Is that like a beer thing?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "You know anything about beer?" I'm like, "I know a little bit." And he's like, "I'm sick and tired of these American piss beers." He goes, "Is there anything good out there?" And I gave him this. I looked at him and said, I'm going to give you one chance to retract the question because you have no idea the world that you're going to walk into."
Yeah.
He goes, No, bring it. He goes, "Okay, first of all, I kind of need to know what you palate, what you like and what you don't like, because I hate hops." I went, "Bullshit."
No, you don't. Yeah.
He goes, No, you don't tell me.
You only think you do.
He goes, "No, don't. You can't tell me what I like and what I don't like." I'm like, "No, you don't hate hops. You just don't like German hops in American beer. That's what you don't like." He goes, "Well, what's the difference?" I said, "There's so many kinds." And so I started talking about hops. I said, "And I guarantee you, if you start down this path in 6 months, you're going to be sitting at your desk. Your saliva glands are going to start going, and you're going to need an IPA."
And I thought you were going to say he's going to be sitting at his desk. He's going to give you the finger for leading him down his path.
Well, he did. He's done that a few times. And he looks at me and goes, "Bullshit." It took him 3 months. He calls me up from his desk. He's like, "I need a fucking IPA, you son of a bitch." Mm-hmm. And he goes, "I have turned into such a hophead." I said, "It'll pass." He goes, "No, it's not going to pass. I love this beer. I want IPAs. I want IPAs." I said, "It's going to pass." He goes, "It's not going to pass." I'm like, "You're going to burn your palate out on hops.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're going to want something different, and you're going to start turning to malt. You're going to start turning to the dark stuff." He goes, You're saying I'm going to turn to the dark side?" I'm like, "Yes, and we have cookies."
And on that note, hold that thought to James Earl Jones.
Oh,
James
absolutely.
That was the son. 92.
Yep.
Damn good run.
I'll sign up for 92 today.
Yeah, and you know what?
Agreed.
And James Earl Jones, you can be all of our fathers. We're cool with that.
Absolutely, have at it.
But and eventually he did go to malts. He bounces back and forth now. But man, he really, and I my nickname for him is Meathead.
Yeah.
He loves the nickname, by the way. He actually has introduced himself as that. But yeah, it's that.
Hi, I'm Meathead.
Yeah. No. When he was going around with me to breweries in New Jersey and they know me as Samurai, he'll introduce himself as Meathead. It's like I might as well. If they don't call you by your name, why would? But no, but it's to your point. There's that joy of taking someone down that path.
Yeah.
And the thing is, for you've got a shorter time period than I have.
Yeah, you get about 2 to 3 minutes at times.
Yeah, and it's just the energy that you pour forth over that bar. It sells it.
It sounds goofy, but more than once I've told someone, it's Saturday, it's 2 p.m. I've got a line out the door. What is an IPA taste like? And I'll be like, you know what? I tell you what, let me get you this. Let's just get you a beer and come back on Monday or come back on Tuesday. I'll be here at noon. It's gonna be quiet. No one's gonna be here but you and me, and let's really go over this. And that is like my favorite thing in the whole wide world to do. Because then if I find not just one, but then 2 beers that they like. Oh, I like Oktoberfest and I like sour beers. There we go. Then we start to open those doors, and that's my favorite thing in the whole world.
100%.
And you've got to give kudos to the owners and the brewing staff because you've got so many styles to work with while you're there.
Yeah, we try to put on 1 beer every week or 1 every other week. So we're always bringing some on, taking some off. I mean, we have big sort of format beers that are going to be 90 barrels, and by the way, as far as the brewing community is concerned, I know 90 barrels might be nothing for you. It might be, your whole year's worth of beer, but I mean, it might be 90 barrels for a big format beer, but we'll do anything down to 10 barrels. Whatever we want to do is what we get to play with. So we're always kind of shuffling and trying, and something's always in. I mean, in fact, the beer you're drinking, the Seaside, we did 1 or 2 alpha batches, which we didn't call Seaside. Let's try it here. Let's adjust the hop here. Let's adjust the hop here. So we're always trying to see what people like.
How big are those alpha batches?
Usually about 30 barrels, maybe a little bit less.
That's a test batch.
Yeah, that's our small batch.
30 barrel test batch.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know, yeah.
So what's interesting here is the picture that I posted up before.
We did a full batch of this. I was 20, but that's
okay. Fair.
That's why we're laughing.
Yeah.
So sitting here, and that picture that I put up earlier, your beer list is in the background of that picture.
Uh-huh.
There's 20 beers.
Yes.
On there. Now that's not everything you have on tap. There's a few others.
Yeah.
I have 30 taps.
You've got 30 taps. So there's a one of the lists is on here. That's more the experimental stuff. Oh, I wish I hadn't scrolled over. I just saw a football team I don't like, college team for that much. There was a plum sour on.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of it and below it are both IPAs, that's so it's just like when something comes off, you just put something else up. There's no order up there. I love that. Another sour age. Oh, I had this one. The sour ale aged in oak with cherries and vanilla.
Ah, was that the Cherry Sour Nova?
Yes, it was.
Yes. So we do all of our sours in oak. That's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on is for us, I mean, no disrespect to anyone, we kind of feel like kettle sours are a little bit disrespectful and it's a little bit cheating.
We do not disagree with you.
We don't disagree.
Okay, so not hurting anyone's feelings. All of our sours, and we're very proud to put it on the side of every can. This is a real sour. It aged for several months in an oak fodder. We have 3 different generations of oak. We have French oak 1, French oak generation 2, then we have American oak 3. And we can put them in the one that we think is going to best fit. So absolutely, we want it to sit for several months, not a few days, not a few weeks, several months in oak fodders, and then do it that way.
That's a beautiful thing. But the point I was making is there's a vast variety of styles on this list.
Absolutely.
There's a fest beer, there's a stout, there's a barley wine, there's flow, there's love, there's the Kolsch, Boost.
Boost, yep. We don't do Boost anymore, unfortunately.
No. I didn't have that while I was there. Now I'm upset that I didn't have it. I can't read that one. So, but yeah, there was quite a few styles that were on that day. So that was very, very nice. It was a nice warm day that day too. So it was really nice to get the fest beer down. Actually, I think that's the first thing I ordered was the fest beer. Just nice, light, crisp, cool.
Oh yeah.
Kerry went to Kolsch to begin with, then I went to the Oktoberfest.
Kolsch is one of our best. Absolutely.
Oh, such an easy drinking beer.
Let's do.
What is Kevin's number 3 going to be?
I was going to say, do I go German or do I go?
Well, where do you go after a Dippa?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to gear down. I'm going to go from 4th gear down to 3rd gear.
Climbing a hill, got a downshift, huh?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Peter.
Oh, this is right. You did go get the bottle opener, so you might as well use it.
I got the official Mac tools, probably entirely too expensive off of a tool truck. The bottle opener.
That's overkill.
I had to finance it, so on and so forth. But I'm going traditional. As we talked about traditional.
Oh, that's
Paulaner Märzen.
Paulaner Märzen is a great beer. There you go.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
That's kind of the fun part when you get to play with all the new styles and all the new funky hops and yeast varieties and techniques. It's fun to just kind of come back home to good old-fashioned German beer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's interesting because I was in Munich in April.
Mm-hmm.
Paulaner might be the only one I did not have while I was there. Because I had Schneider, I had Eyinger, Hofbrau, Augustiner, Giesinger, Andecker. It's so many, but it did not have the Paulaner. And it's funny because we found a brewery that was willing to let me do the podcast from there. And the reason being is they were originally from New Jersey.
Really?
Yeah, so that was really cool. What, John? Why am I blanking on the name here? Briggs.
No. It was hold on. It was
We had them on. Well, obviously we had them show because it's a show. But the point is, there's this little craft brewery right in the shadow of the Lowenbrow Brewery. They're maybe like 5 buildings away from it. What the Lowenbrow, and there's another German brand that's in that same brewery. Why can't I remember the name?
Higgins
Ale Works. But it was interesting. Is they do a pumpkin ale. They do a few other things where they put adjuncts in it, but they can't call it beer.
Yeah,
legally in Germany, they have to call it malt liquor. There's about a 37,000 long syllable word for malt liquor in German. And they said it in the show, but their most popular beer actually is their pumpkin ale because it's so different there. But it's just, I don't know if Paul Lander's with Lowenbrow, someone's with Lowenbrow, but I did see the Paul Lander Brewery while I was there. It's huge, but they're not by themselves. They're with somebody else in that brewery. I forget who it is, but so that was really cool. So how's that drinking for you, Kev? Is that this year's?
Lovely. It's actually last year's. My wife got them on sale. She's ever the bargain hunter. She'll go out and go, yeah, I found these were half off, and who am I to look in a semi-old Oktoberfest Märzen in the face?
Yeah, they don't. As long as they're kept well, you can.
Yeah, it's been the fridge the whole time.
Yeah, you can.
We moved with it.
in the back of a Ram pickup truck.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Tacoma. It was a Tacoma.
It's a Tacoma.
Oh, Tacoma. That's right. Oh no, that's right. The farmer came with the Ram pickup truck. Right.
Yes,
that's where the Ram came into this.
Got our beer pickups mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a pickup bed full of beer.
I got to serve beer on board the USS Hornet a few weeks ago, which was pretty fun.
And the thing is, if you're walking to their brewery and you're walking east, if you look to the right, there's this very large gray structure.
Yeah,
that is the Hornet.
The USS Hornet, CV-12. We're very proud of it. Stationed in Alameda, California. But yeah, it's a aircraft carrier. Yes. It's one that picked up the Apollo astronauts, and yeah, I guess they have parties, they have raves on board the aircraft carrier, and they said, we're doing this technology week. Would you mind coming to serve beer? So we served beer until about 2 a.m. It was quite a ride.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's the best. And then you get brought up on the crane. That's the fun part too.
You get brought up on the crane.
Yeah,
that is so
all right,
cool.
That guy stand here, and then the big crane, boom.
We have which one of the brewers organizations has it on the battleship, John?
Well, they're both. Everything's they're one organization now.
They're one organization now, but at the time there was only one. But yes, so the New Jersey Craft Brewers Association has a craft beer festival on the Battleship New Jersey.
Ooh.
Except for this past year, because the Battleship New Jersey was moved to the Philadelphia shipyard, went to dry dock to get it refurbished a little bit. It's back home now.
Okay.
It's back home now in Camden, New Jersey. We think it's probably taking more enemy fire being in Camden than it did in its whole service as the most decorated warship in the American fleet.
That's amazing, actually.
Oh, this thing is so cool. I've been on it a few times, but I've never been to the beer festival. John, you've been a couple times, right?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. It's fun, actually. I find myself looking more around the ship than I do while I'm drinking the beer, of course. Of course. Yeah. I go, and I'm like, I'm less paying attention to what I'm drinking, or like I'll take the first sip and I'm like, oh, this is good, and then I start looking, Yeah. And I'm just drinking the rest of the beer, that kind of thing.
There was one of the festivals, they had to pull John off the guns because he was trying to blow the Philadelphia Eagles Stadium away. You can see it from the deck of the New Jersey, and he He's trying to aim the guns. They had it locked down.
I'm just imagining that in the swivel chair. Where is it?
he put up a good fight.
Well, and I will tell you. No disrespect. All right. But when it comes to the Eagles, while I dislike them, I can't say. Well, yeah, I can say I dislike them, but it's not even a matter of that. Right. They are. If they play one other team, I root for them.
Yeah.
And that other team would be Dallas. Because everyone hates Dallas.
Right. So there you
go. Yeah. So the can that I just opened.
I like the look you made. I'm not gonna lie. The face you pulled, I'm very excited about.
Well, because I didn't do so well with the key, so I had to push the opening back in. So I got a little bit on my finger, and I licked my finger. I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be phenomenal.
I think I know what it is. 10th. Oh, what is that? Oh, 10th anniversary reserve.
Yeah, you did it with. Oh god, I grabbed the wrong beer.
I was like, wait, well, I was like that.
Okay, well it's open. I got to drink it now. This is Grist
here
House.
We are.
I just turned it around. This is Grist House 10th anniversary.
It's the same colors, by the way, as the
yeah, that's in there.
The last one we opened.
No.
That's why I was like, wait, he opened another one of the sours. I mean, I'm glad
you sent. Yeah, it's the same color as your. That's the Gold Rush.
It's the Gold Rush.
So, folks, what happened here is Samurai had this beer in the same area as the Almanac beers.
And grabbed the wrong one.
And grabbed it inadvertently.
And what's interesting is, and John knows me well enough to know that my beer fridge is organized not just by brewery, but also region.
See, Dave, you could have stopped after you said the word organized. And most people would be like, really?
Yeah. I was like, so my emails are not organized. He's organizing his beer fridge. I feel like I'm really slacking out here, man.
No. The top left corner is always Monmouth County beers. So the top shelf is always Monmouth County beers because the left is always Cane and Carton. The right is always Coastal Brew Works. Sometimes there's other New Jersey beers sandwiched in between them that may not be Monmouth County. Right. And then anything that's not there is down on the next shelf. And then it goes from East Coast to West Coast. And so with Grist House being in the middle coast, they were next to West Coast. And I just grabbed the wrong thing. I'm not mad at this because, God, I love this beer.
Hopefully they still have some. I will be out there in about 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
7. 6.
I love that someone's going to talk about a location in the United States, and you're going to open your fridge and say, can you point to it on this map, please?
Well, here's the thing. I should have friggin' known better because Almanac's been around more than 10 years.
Yeah. Well,
I should have known that.
14 to be exact.
Yeah. So.
There you have it.
But I'm not mad at this because it's a damn good beer.
There you go. Yeah. So where I was going to bring up before.
That long ago.
Yeah,
I gave you the chance at the time.
But I remembered we had to talk about the other things. What is this scuttlebutt, if you will, around San Francisco and the Bay Area about Anchor?
I'm really glad you asked because I've been saving this up for the last 3 months since we started talking about this. So I'm very lucky enough to work with 2 of their previous employees. One who is actually one of the people who got let go from Anchor.
Mm-hmm. We talked about that. We talked about that last year when you were on the show too, because he came over then, right?
Yeah. Well, that was one. Now I got another one. Okay. So so I got 2 now. So it's a little bit. It's good and it's a little bit fearful. So I don't know how much you guys looked into this yogurt guy.
I know a little bit about him.
Yeah. So I guess he's a San Francisco native.
It sounds good on the surface.
So, well, here, let me explain here. When they said Anchor is going out of business, he says, "What's Anchor?" Wait. What do you mean, what's Anchor? He's like, "Yeah, what is it?" It's a brewery. And they make beer there? Correct. So he buys it, and the first thing everyone's worried about is, you don't know what it is. Why are you buying it? So there is some fear there. What are you doing? Why are you buying this? You have no idea what it is. You have no idea what Steam is. You don't know what Steam means to this city. You don't know what Steam means as far as a style to the beer community. Why are you involved with this? There is that level of paranoia, you might say.
Right.
But one of my very good friends and one of my brewers is friends with one of the people who met with, I'm just going to call him Mr. Yogurt, who had said while he understands he doesn't know what it is, he's fully committed with all of his gazillions of dollars. We need to modernize this brewery. We need to get sales up and moving. He's got a good vision for where it needs to be, and they are very positive about that. Now, one thing that is a little bit strings attached with Anchor Breweries, Anchor was a union shop. I don't know if you guys were aware of that.
No.
Anchor is one of the very first, I don't want to say first, I don't know my history that well. It was one of the, at least in our area, actually the only brewery that was associated with a union. In fact, it was the warehouse workers union who was slowly dying, so we should pick up brewers, and they were the first ones to get attached to that. So we're going to be a union shop. And Mr. Yogurt has said, I will welcome the union back.
Oh.
Which we were not expecting. True, even I was not. I was not expecting that in the least.
Hamde Ulakaya.
Yeah.
Is the gentleman's name.
Okay. I was not expecting that.
Times.
Yeah, I can't, and I'm not going to.
This is why we're calling him Mr.
I can do it.
This is why we're calling him Mr. Yogurt.
No, I can do it.
Yeah.
That fast 5 times. Thank you.
I really wish I had that app up so I could do the cheer for you. But I remember to keep that posted up at all times.
At all times. Yeah.
But he's ready to welcome the union back. And a lot of the brewers said, we kind of thought like, remember Sapporo owned Anchor previous to their shutdown.
Right.
Which a lot of them do blame Sapporo for its downfall.
Oh, everyone does, actually.
They were hoping because, Anchor is very, very near and dear to my heart.
Sapporo didn't care about Anchor. Sapporo cared about Sapporo.
Anchor's, it's our favorite uncle, who, I was born in San Francisco. Anchor's from San Francisco. I watched my dad go and get a 12-pack of Anchor once a week at the grocery store. That it's part of who we are as people in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
So for him to say, yes, we're going to bring it all back. I'm sorry, I got off track there. Sapporo's original intention was, hey, Sapporo, we kind of need to update this facility. Fritz Maytag brought it from a 50s facility up into an 80s facility, and we appreciate that. But it's beaten down, it's old, it's broken. We can't function correctly. We can do things a lot better with new equipment. And Sapporo said, I'm not going to use the middle finger here, but like, go F yourself, pal. You're just going to make us money. And they'd really ran it into a hole. So they were very worried about that with the Yogurt gentleman. But he said, no, I'm fully committed to getting you new equipment, getting the union back, doing this the right way, and getting things back to the way that they're supposed to be. So there is definitely an optimism in the air.
Good.
But we'll wait to see what it looks like. And again, not to be Mr. Pessimistic, we've all seen people come in with big money and big dreams and big ideas. And then when you get the actual price tag, mean, I was with the last brewer I was with. I helped. I was there on the first day when they built it out. I used to work for 21st Amendment, and trust me, the price tag of what you think it is and what it actually is are two different things. So there is still
I'm aware.
Yeah, you're aware. We always used to say that everything's either $50 or 50,000. There's no in between. It's either a couple knickknacks here, or it's a full on, call a construction crew to bring it in.
Right.
So there is some pessimism, and they're a little nervous about when he gets his paycheck. Is he going to balk at it, or are we going to be okay? And I will tell you, at least as a guy in the space, I was in that neighborhood yesterday. We're all ready for it to open. I mean, all of us.
Are they working it? Are they? I mean, are things going on there?
Not yet. Not that I'm aware of. That's the truth. I am not aware of it. I don't see anything yet. But we're all sort of, at least as far as Bay Area beer drinkers, we've all got a $20 bill in our hand going, let me know when you're open. Yeah. Because not only do you have the brewery, but then you have their tap room next door, which was, by the way, the most brilliant thing they ever did. They should have done it 50 years ago. And we're all ready for it to open. We just need them to do it. We've heard a lot of talk. We've seen a lot of plans. We've heard all about zoning and construction and equipment and unions and staff. And that's another thing, actually. He is committed to bringing back the old staff, which we were not expecting as well. That's a fact right there. In fact, one of my brewers is saying, if they offer me the job back, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm sorry. We were in things. It was one of those situations where it was very near and dear to everyone's hearts.
Of course.
It's very much a family situation. So if we can go back, you say the word and I'll put in my 2 weeks notice. So there's a lot of optimism. There is some pessimism. That's the God's honest truth, but we're all ready to see what's actually going to happen.
Nice.
A lot of things to say about that. First of all, and I apologize to the craft beer world because there's been a couple of times where I have traveled, booked a tour of a place, and before the trip happened, they shut down. Anchor was one of those. So when I went to Germany and booked a tour at Weihenstephaner, and John was one of them, said, if Weihenstephaner shuts down, we're sacrificing you to some sort of beer god.
You're done. You're not coming back.
It's been 500 years.
Yeah. 500 in 16 years. They're 1,000 years old.
Really? Oh,
yeah. Weihenstephaner is older than England.
Yes.
Well, it's a lot better than England. Yes.
But the other
thing, English people.
To Mr. Ulikaya, I read a bunch about him when this all happened because I know it's so integral to the Bay Area. It's part of the beer culture there.
Oh yeah,
so much so there. But it is part of the craft beer culture. Yeah. They're one of the OGs.
It is.
Sam Adams, Sierra, and them.
Anchor.
Those are the three.
Yeah,
those are the three. That's it. So as important as it is to the Bay Area, it's also important to the rest of the craft beer world. So we've all been watching this. Anybody who's really the craft beer all blame themselves for forgetting about Anchor and allowing this to happen.
True.
We stopped. Other than the Christmas beer, we kind of stopped buying Anchor Steam.
Oh, there was a great thing that they when they were under support, like the last couple of months before the sort of death knell, was they sent out a letter. If you remember it. They basically said, Anchor is the friend you love and miss, but never visit.
Yeah.
But
I had planned to visit.
And
I definitely wanted to.
Yeah.
Things happened.
I mean, and I'll be honest, a lot of us, especially as beer dorks, we go into a place, we go, I don't know about this one. That one's a little weird, but you can always count on an Anchor. Always count on an Anchor.
But you look at it and go, oh, but I've had that.
I've had the
well, and here's my plight, and I say this all the time. It's two things, right? There's two things that are the problem. And I'm guilty, or at least I was. I'm not anymore. I'm making myself not be, right? But there's two things that are the problem. A, this is a what have you done for me lately industry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, you brewed that already. I had that last year. I don't
I
need
had
that
40
again.
pints of that last year.
Well, no. A lot of people say I had one pint of that last year.
Yeah.
I don't need it
Yeah.
again. Okay.
For those of us who are getting our numbers up on Untapped,
Right.
Yes.
That is the second problem.
Yeah.
While I love Untapped sucks for this particular problem.
Yeah.
Because people want to check into something that they haven't had.
Yet.
and
If they're in a shop buying something that they want to go home and check into, they're not going to buy something that they've had already. And if they're in a bar, they're certainly not going to. There's obviously, unless there's 2 taps in a bar, and they've had both of them and they want a beer, obviously that's a different story. But if there's multiple taps and there's 6 beers that they've had and 2 beers that they haven't, they're having those 2 beers that they haven't had. So
Absolutely.
those are the 2 friggin' problems right
and we're
now.
all guilty of it.
And I'm guilty. And it took this anchor thing to make me stop and consciously force myself to stop thinking that way.
I mean, well, as craft beer drinkers, as in my opinion, we're all loyal. We're not loyal to a beer. We're not loyal to a brewery. We're not loyal to a style. We are loyal to the genre.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We are loyal to
Absolutely.
I'm not going to say religion of craft beer.
You could say religion.
Oh, you absolutely.
So when you come out with a new one, and when you come, I want to be there for everybody. I want to try all the new things. But that means, yes, when I'm on to the first new thing, you were 3 months ago, dude. You're old history now.
If Anchor comes back as it was, then it's going to be a good thing for us craft beer nerds, because this was a lesson.
Oh, yeah.
This was a lesson for us.
Gotta support your boys.
And when it happened, we put a challenge out on the show. Once a week, at least once a week, go back to one of those beers that you love.
We're not saying go to the liquor store and buy a case of the beer.
Yeah.
Just have one.
Yeah, do it.
Just have one.
And if everyone does it, that beer's supported. That brewery's going to survive.
Just have one.
But I want to speak about Mr. Ulakaya. Because Anchor is so important to the United States craft beer movement. I looked into this when it came through that, wait a second, Chobani is buying them.
Yeah.
Why is a yogurt company buying them? I said, no, it's not a yogurt company. It's Mr. Ulakaya is buying them. And I looked into his purchase of Chobani and what happened there. One, he didn't know the first thing about yogurt.
Really?
So your concerns about him not knowing about beer, don't worry about it. Secondly, and you're seeing this already, he made sure everybody kept their jobs. He said his concept of a company is, it is not, the product comes from the love of the employees.
Yes.
It's the people that do the work that are important. That's why he is so keen to bring as many people back as possible, because he knows the heart and soul of this product are the people that make it. And I watched an interview with him, and you can see the sincerity. And when I learned more and more about this guy, the more optimistic I got that Anchor's coming back. Anchor's coming back as Anchor. Yeah. It's not coming back as a pale version of itself. It's not coming back as something to make a 100 millionaire into a billionaire. That's not what this guy is about. And he's also, with Chobani, he knew he was prepared for the first 5 years to lose money. Once I learned more and more about this yogurt magnate, like this guy can be a craft beer magnate. This is like the second coming of Fritz.
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic about what this guy is going to bring to the brewery, because the thing is, he doesn't look at it that way. He doesn't look like he's bringing anything to the brewery. That the brewery already is, and it's the people, and he counts on the people, and that's the important thing. He sees this, he understands this. This is how he's able to turned Chobani into a name that we all know that damn name.
Yeah.
Right? It was failing. It was gone. And he turned it into one of the biggest yogurt companies in the country.
Yep.
So I understand the pessimism because we've seen it in the past. But what this guy's about, I think his mindset's in the right place to bring Anchor back. And, we're hoping in the next 5 years, hopefully 3, maybe less, that we see Anchor Christmas back in New Jersey.
If I get my hands on some, I'll send you some.
Oh my God. Because I've got, sitting right here, I have got a cooler. There's nothing cool chilling in it, but wrapped in newspaper are a whole bunch of these.
Oh, a man after my own heart.
I've got them sitting there. One of these days I forget, John, I've told you many times, it goes back to, I forgot how far this goes back, but it goes back a little bit.
I think you're back to 2014.
I think I'm back to 2014 on it.
That's also kind of the fun part is my wife, who's the wine person, she collected them every single year since I think say for 8 years back. I'm like, I bought beer, I drank beer. She's like, no, it's all labeled up.
But that makes so much sense. You know why? Because they're different every year. They're vintages.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and we collect them. We've got them all set up.
The terroir changes every year.
Yeah, she's got.
I have
the living room.
I have 5 bottles left. I have a 29. I have one 12-ounce bottle of 2019, one 12-ounce bottle of 2020, one 12-ounce bottle of 2021, one 12-ounce bottle of the last one, 2022.
Yep.
And I have a Magnum of 2016.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all I have left. That's it.
I'm in this.
And I didn't have last year when there wasn't any. I didn't have, like, the last time I had an Anchor Christmas was our Christmas in July show. Mm-hmm. A week before Anchor closed, and I had one 2021 left, and I had that. So I haven't had one since then because I only have these 3 left. I'm not going to have these until I can have the new one.
Yeah.
Then I will have it.
I've got 1 can of Anchor Steam left in the fridge.
Yeah.
Until they start sending it out again, I won't drink.
Can or bottle?
Can. 1 can left.
Okay. Because I actually have 1 porter and 1 steam bottle each left.
I drank my last porter on the show, I believe.
You did.
So I've got this. This is their crisp pilsner.
Yep, I've had
my last.
We had it on the show.
Yeah.
And when the trip went out there where I met you, Kevin. Mm-hmm. Before we came out there to Alameda.
Alameda, yeah.
Yeah,
Alameda.
We were staying down near the docks. I'm a big Star Wars geek, right? So you've got Lucasfilms.
Mm-hmm.
It's in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people know that. And I wanted to see the Yoda fountain. I wanted to see the lobby. So I walked from where we were through the Marina District. And I'm going through the main drag of the Marina District. And there's a placard outside this one bar. And it says, Anchor Steam on tap. Anchor Steam has since closed.
Yes.
And I'm like, Star Wars is going to wait. I'm walking in. So I drink the beer. I send the picture. I put it up on, the beer drinking nerd group that John and I belong to, mm-hmm. and post it up there. And finally, one of the bright fellows in our group finally said, "You're 3 hours behind us. It's 1 p.m. here. You're drinking an Anchor Steam at 10 in the morning in a bar." I'm like, I love this fucking city.
I know what I'm here for, man.
That was the Chris Pilsner that you pulled up?
Yes.
All right, I just pulled up last year's show notes when you were on the show last December.
Uh-huh.
That was the first beer Dave had on the show last.
Yep, it was.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. This wavelength we're all on.
Yes, yeah. It's a common love for anybody who knows anything about craft beer in this country.
I mean, we were so proud of Anchor, and then when it went under the way it did, and suddenly, and
so unceremoniously, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember. I'm lucky enough to be friends with one of their I don't know what you call it. I guess like the head union guy. I can't think of the name. I'm sure someone else
Shop steward.
Shop steward of Anchor, and he's like, you know what, man? I don't know, man. We're gonna take a vote tonight. We're gonna see what happens, and then 6 a.m. the next day, it was Anchor's voting or Anchor's closing.
Yeah.
And what happened? He's like, man, it was just all out of our hands. It was just over. Sapporo chose to end the game.
What happened is Sapporo was looking to use American breweries to brew their beer and distribute it.
So they didn't have to ship it over from Japan anymore.
And Anchor did not have the capacity that
they did, and they weren't. So and they bought and they got in bed with Stone, and
Stone has the capacity
Anchor anymore.
And that was I mean, I don't know how anyone. I mean, I'm going to vent for 2 seconds.
Oh,
I've been to Anchor. I've been to every single corner of that brewery. Anyone, I'm going to block my mic. Anyone who'd been in there knows there's no more room for anything other than Anchor. And the thing is, and where I used to work at 21st Amendment, I'm familiar with that strategy. We had a buy-in from Kieran at that point. So I know what they're thinking. I know how they're doing. But why they picked Anchor?
Someone didn't do their homework.
Is
exactly.
Buy a place in the valley, put in 15,500 barrel fermenters, have a great time. Have a lovely time.
Leave
Anchor
our history alone.
Never, ever, ever. That place is snug as shit to begin with. Ever been there? You walk to the cellar like this, you're gonna go in between all the tanks, and it's tight and it's snug. That was never the place to do that for.
I really honestly think this was just revenge for Hiroshima.
It might be, absolutely.
As you took down a good chunk, a massive chunk of our history.
Yeah, here's our revenge on the West Coast. That's what I think of you.
Yeah, it was awful. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful from everything that I've seen.
The optimist in me, I gotta be hopeful. I gotta hope that it actually, works out.
We are too. We're very excited that it's. I mean, like I said, you've got a lot of the older, more tenured employees who are saying, "Say the word." Mm-hmm. Just say the word.
Say the word.
The union's ready. We'll welcome you back, and we have everything ready to go. The building's still where it stood. It hasn't been occupied by anyone else. Mm-hmm. Yes, the building needs to be updated, which he has agreed to do so, because that was one of the arguments by the older workers was that, like, hey man, this place is falling apart.
It needs a
serious update.
He'll throw money into it.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fun part, is that we know he's a billionaire. He's said he's going to do it. He just has to do it. We're ready.
Here's how you know that he's going to do what he needs to do, because when they decided to put Anchor up for auction, they did it in pieces.
Yeah.
The brand was one piece. The building was another piece. The equipment was another piece. All these pieces. And it really looked like different pieces were going to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere, he comes in, says, stop everything. Here's a big fat paycheck. I'm taking all of it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All of it. That to me right there, that was huge. That he bought everything. The real estate, the building, the equipment, the brand, the recipes, everything.
Yeah.
I want it all.
Yeah.
And to me, that tells me there's an understanding from him of what a business is.
Yeah.
And what he's done in the past, yes, you started off talking about when he first asked, well, what is it? It's a brew.
Yeah.
That's the initial stages. Once he got that first question down, I guarantee you he went into depth about everything that thing was about. And I think I have to feel and think that he understands what the place is now. The fact that he's calling them all back.
Yeah.
That's huge. So you're going to lose some employees, Kevin.
I mean, and you know what? We're kind of okay with that. Like we've all told Mark, hey, when you go, let us, call us.
Get us a tour. Get us a tour.
Call us first. Let us know when the first opening day is. We're just gonna close at 5 p.m. the day, and we're all gonna be there for you.
Yeah,
100%.
It's 100%.
It's an icon. It's an icon.
Oh, and it really did. It really, without being dramatic, it really did hurt when they closed. We all heard that in the morning, it was like your favorite uncle just chose to close up and die. You're like, but you've always been there with me. You were my dad's beer. You were my first beer I had when I was 21 at like a good bar. You were the thing I brought to college parties. Nope, we're done with it. It's over now. So it's very, very hurtful.
And I understand that pain was probably most poignant in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
That pain resonated across the country.
Oh, it was a moment of silence at breweries in California.
If you, maybe one day if I get the chance, I'll scroll back through our Beer Geek group as to when that happened, and you can see the pain in our messages to each other.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh,
yeah. We were distraught. It was like, how could this happen? And it just finally came down like, it was us.
Yeah,
we were the reason. Like,
and like I said, when they
we
wrote
as a
that
collective,
memo,
all of us.
Yeah, when they wrote that memo, hey, we're your good friend that you forgot about. It really kind of like, oh yeah, it was us. I was drinking the, hazy IPA with unicorn hoof, so on and so forth. Exactly. Oh, it's kind of me who forgot about you.
Yep.
Right.
Lesson learned.
Yep.
And we won't let this happen.
Cautionary tale, and we fix this problem.
Yep.
Exactly. So go out, buy some Founders, get some Great Divide.
Sierra Nevada. I don't think they're in danger, but
no, Sierra. Jesus Christ! If you've not been to the Sierra Nevada location in Nashville, they're doing okay.
I've been.
Yeah, we've both been.
We've both been.
We've both been.
They're good. But that being said,
don't forget
perpetuate it. Don't forget about it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Because otherwise, Hop Disney World goes away.
Right. Exactly.
Oh, Kevin.
Yeah. Give me 2 seconds here, fellas. Got to make room for more beers. Be right back.
When you come back, I'll probably follow you so you can fill the dead air that I do. That I leave.
There you go.
But
him being said that when he gets back, we'll do unless you have to run right out. Let's do our top threes because we are at 2 hours and 2 minutes at this point. So
yes, I can hear the debate going on in the background.
I don't even care.
I don't care either. We've said it many times before. We don't do religion or politics on the show.
Nope.
Unless it's the religion of beer or the politics that hurt beer or support beer.
Foreshadowing something that's going to happen in a couple of minutes.
Oh, was that foreshadowing?
Ish.
A few minutes. It depends. It depends if Kevin's turning into Tom Hanks in League of Their Own, which it's funny because of that scene in League of Their Own. I've actually and I can't be the only person who's done this that has timed their beer piss. Has pulled the clock out on their phone and timed it. And I've actually timed the one in, Tom Hanks in there, including the post-shake leak.
Right. There's one longer than Tom Hanks in League of Their Own.
What's that one?
Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds 3.
Oh God, yes. I forgot about that one. I think I've destroyed Ogre before. There's been times where it's like, when is this going to stop? Where I'm like, my hands on the wall beyond the back of the toilet because I'm going to fall down if this continues any longer because my knees are weak.
Exactly.
Oh, it's bad. I feel one of those coming on actually.
Do you have time to do the top threes, or are you going to leave while Kevy does his?
No, because it might last longer than he does his. So I think I can hold.
Oh, well, are you just going to do what you normally do and leave when I do mine?
Probably, more than likely. So I'm going to roll over here. You can probably still hear me. I mean, it's probably a little muted.
No, I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay.
As can everybody else.
So I've got this. Where is the? Oh, there it is. I'm just preparing for the end of the show. Because I didn't do that. Actually, you know what? Well, Kevin's still going. I'm gonna. Is it okay if I leave you alone?
You want me to vamp? Are you that bad?
Getting there, but yeah.
Go, just go.
Kevin will be back real soon.
I've been known to do it by myself. It's fine. Just go. There you go.
That's what she said.
Or I could just, well, this is true. Or I could just sit here and not say anything and have dead air for a while. You just timed it perfectly because Dave just left, and he's like, "Can you hold the fort down by yourself?" Of course I can.
I heard dead air. I'm like, no.
He left. I said dead air as soon as he walked away, and there you go. Right there.
No, the DJ inside my mind from 9 years ago, as a young man in his 20s, will not let that happen.
All right, that's and myself, and I still do that. I still get the DJ out occasionally when, for a buddy of mine that has a trivia company, he'll occasionally have a special night that he doesn't have one of his normal hosts in a different area of the state, and he was like, "Hey John, can you host this night for me?" Sure, I'll go down. I'm a ham on the mic, so then I pull out my old. All right, everybody, coming up on the
Ladies and gentlemen, 1017 KKIQ, cause of today's top yesterday and hits. Blah 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 blah.
Exactly.
Here's Rod Stewart and Kelly Clarkson, 1017 KKIQ.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But you got that. I mean, it's that prototypical perfect DJ voice. That's what you got, and it works. So
comes in handy.
It absolutely does. And he's back. He was wrong. That was weak. That was lame. That was not ogre. And you're muted. Oh, we can't hear you. We can't hear you. There you go.
I can't hear you either.
That was weak. That was
no. I didn't. Oh no. There's been.
That was not ogre level. That was not Tom Hanks in League of Their Own level. That was just
okay. So I'm gonna call you at 8:30 in the morning when I get up and take the ogre week.
I'm good. You don't need to.
Actually, okay. I'll go Facebook Live on that one. How about that?
Please don't. I think I speak for everybody when I say.
There you go.
And when I say everybody, I mean everybody. When I say please don't.
Kevin just opened his fourth because he now has room.
Yeah, exactly.
He made room. There you go. And he's having the Chris Pilsner.
Absolutely.
There's we support your choice here, Kevin.
100%. All right. All right. So I think it's time that we do our top three.
How'd you do with it, Kevin?
I'm ready. I've got a bit planned and everything.
Awesome. So do I. So let's do it.
All right.
And here now is the acting portion of the
exactly. So tonight's top three list is top three campaign promises we'd make while running for president of craft beer.
Considering the presidential debate is half an hour in, who cares?
This is more important
because we just said it. Well, you didn't hear it while you're peeing. We don't talk about religion or politics on the show unless it's religion or beer, or how politics influence beer,
or the politics of beer. So, but top three campaign promises we'd make while running for president of craft beer. Kevin, start us out.
My first, my fellow Americans, we're in a time of desperation here in this American economy. The first promise I want to make to you is, of course, the promise of freshness. Of course, like all of us, we're facing tough times in this horrible economic activity brought forth by my predecessor. Sorry.
I love that.
Sorry, you gotta play it that way.
You got to. You always blame the other person. Yeah.
God, of course.
Times have gotten tough, and the first thing that happens when times get tough, the first corner we cut is freshness. As your president, the committee I'm going to establish is going to be called FAC, the Freshness and Alcohol Committee. It's going to be part of the DOJ, the ATF, the ABC, and the NBA. We're going to make sure we're going to make beer fresh again.
Beer fresh again.
Shall I go to number 2?
Oh, yeah. I already can't follow this. This is
no, it's okay. We've seen what my predecessor has done with their soft on crime policies. Everything's okay. Nothing's not allowed. That's why I'm here to help. We're going to bring back helpful service in the craft beer industry. We're going to build a wall, and all the rude bartenders, we're going to throw them on the other side of that wall. On the other side of that wall is going to be a prison where they're going to be forced for many years to serve smoothie beers and alcoholic slushy, the natural enemy of the rude bartender. We are not descended in this country of rude bartenders. No, we're not. Finally, my third and final promise as your beer president. We have to reduce beerflation. It's everywhere. I don't know how to get rid of it, but we have to get rid of it. I walked into a place today. It's a $9 lager. Why do you mean a lager is $9? This is ridiculous. We can't have this anymore. My neighborhood beer, they now said they have a $14 IPA. This is ridiculous. We got to get rid of this. So we got to stop beerflation. We have to make beer affordable for blue-collar workers so they can prosper in America. No more outsourcing of beer. Thank you.
There you go.
That was amazing.
There you go.
I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't even think Dave and I need to even bother. You got my vote. We're good.
Yeah. we know who the next president's going to be. But
sorry, I practiced my hand accordions this afternoon after you told me.
Your hands are too big to do it, though.
Yeah. The old exciting Italian hands got in the way. It worked to my favor.
So I'll put the glasses on to make myself look more intelligent.
I'll keep them off to make myself look less intelligent.
So we've heard from the other side.
We have.
That guy again.
Him, yes. But there's so many things now in the craft beer world that just seem unfair and inconsistent. And this inconsistency, this is what we're going to address. There are some places of excess. There are some places of want and need. We need to close that gap. Those with excess need to give up how many TVs they have in their brewery to those who are not allowed to have them. We need parity of the amount of TVs in a brewery. The haves and the have-nots, we need to close that gap. No TV limits. No TV limits. Read my lips. No TV limits. Secondly, corruption. The other parties, so corrupt. They're the worst. They're absolutely the worst. They will let you think that where you are buying your beer have made the decisions on what beers they carry. You have been lied to. Some of these taps have been bought. They have been bought, and this is back to the payola.
Even though it's illegal and monitored, yeah, right. Keep going.
It still happens. So any place you go, you see that neon in the window. That neon bought a tap. I will put the power back into the hands of the bar owners as to what they put on tap. That has not been paid for. That they have not been railroaded into dedicating these taps to big beer. Big beer is the enemy of us all. Mm-hmm. And I will remove that corruption that takes over the taps in your favorite bars, the places you like to drink. That bar just down the road from you, the place where your father, your grandfather drank. No more. Decision back into the bar owner's hands as to what they carry. No more pay to play. And what I will do now is I will announce right here, right now, a war on lactose. Mm-hmm. There needs to be controls on lactose. Lactose will be monitored. We will create a new department the Department of Lactose Control. DOC. No brewery will be allowed more than 1 truckload of lactose a year. Unlike those breweries we've seen tankers pull up week after week to make their beers sweeter, thicker, but it's fake. It's a lie. This is absolutely a lie to all of you. Lactose needs to be controlled. It is. People are hooked on this. This is a problem. People keep coming back for it. They keep coming back for it. They keep coming back. It gets laced into everything. Mm-hmm. You think you're drinking a nice light coffee beer. There's lactose in it. You think, oh, I like this nice sour. It's got a nice body to it. They've put lactose in it. We need labels. We need some sort of control that this beer contains lactose. And that will bring us back to the purity that craft beer should be. That is my promise to you.
Amen. Amen.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. All right.
The senator from New Jersey, you have the floor.
Hey, my fellow craft beer drinkers.
Wait a second. That's in Living Color.
Is it? Oh, I just made it.
No,
up.
there was a song. What was that? Cult of Personality that came. The senator from California has the floor.
Oh, that's a Green Day too.
Yeah.
Was it Green Day? Or was
It's Green Day.
Yeah.
it was Green Day. I got it wrong.
The end of Cult of Personality was it was the speech.
The only thing we have to
delivered by
fear is
JFK.
fear itself.
Fear itself. Right.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So, okay. So mine. All right. I will. My fellow craft beer drinkers. All right.
Ich bin ein Berliner Weiss.
Ich bin ein Berliner.
Well played.
I speak sour German beer. That's what you're saying, right?
Well, everyone. The best part about it is everyone made fun of like, oh, he just said he's a donut.
Yeah.
Because a Berliner is a style of donut, but no, he was saying he was proper. The Germans knew what he was saying.
Right.
His enemies then propagated the myth, which is what political debate's all about. Yeah.
So anyway, my fellow beer drinkers, I will make sure, all right, as all of my contemporaries have failed to do you over the last many years.
You said,
all right, failed to do for you. How's that?
Oh, Mallory gets around.
Mallory gets around. There you go. As all of my contemporaries have failed to do for you.
Ah, there it is.
There you go. I will make sure, first and foremost, that you will have, and this is very important, near and dear to me. So I hope it's near and dear to you because it's the only way I'm going to get elected, right? Is that I will make sure that you have more than one, several even, 14+% maple bourbon barrel aged barley wines throughout the year, folks.
I will vote for that. I will vote for that.
Not just in December. Throughout the year. Throughout the year. You will have availability of these delicious beers throughout the year. Because while they are amazing to drink in the winter, they are also amazing with cigars, and you're not going to sit outside in the middle of winter and have a cigar. So you need them in the summer too. Unless you have a fire pit, even then, you might only get a half a cigar in because it might be too cold. So throughout the year, folks, throughout the year.
Actually, Kev's in San Francisco, so sometimes the summer is the cold.
Well, I'm speaking as the senator from New Jersey, right? So there you go.
Well, there's that. Which comedians? Was it Mark Twain who said the coldest winter that he ever experienced was summer in San Francisco?
Summer in San Francisco.
It's printed everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's printed everywhere.
So that's why the barley wines are especially important to Kevin's constituents.
In Frisco, absolutely, 100%.
My constituents need a higher alcohol.
You
presence
do,
option.
and it's important, and people forget it.
You
All
can't have a Pilsner with all this clam chowder.
All right.
I gotta stop the accent. This is my second accent of the show.
We don't have the impersonations that Kevin does.
I did the Trump thing. I did the My Fellow Americans. Now I'm doing Mark Twain. This is awful.
The only thing I was able to do was the Elder Bush.
Well, my fellow Americans. All right, so bring out the Nixon.
Oh, you're gonna go Nixon.
Bring out the Nixon. Anyway,
shake the jowls. Yeah.
There you go. All right. So, well, I'm from New Jersey. So is he. Later on in life, anyway. But anyway. All right, number 2.
God, I just finished that stout.
My second promise.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to help us all bring back the love of malt.
Ooh. Oh, yes. I'm for that.
Bring back the love of malt. Old ales will not be few and far between, folks. They'll be readily available throughout every week, every day, every month of the year, as well as every other style. Bring back the love of malt. That's my number 2.
Okay.
And number 1, and I think we can all get on board with this. Okay. You will have a bigger variety of beer on a brewery tap list to choose from, not just 12 IPAs and 2 other styles, folks. That will never, ever happen on my watch.
I think that can go across the aisle.
Standing ovation. Standing ovation across the aisle.
There you go. There we go. All right. So those are mine.
I don't know that we've had more fun in the top 3 than this one.
When you explained this to me, I was like, oh shit, some accents are gonna come out. I had a Bill Clinton thing going on. I had a Trump thing going.
I did not have no. I did not have a sour ale with that woman.
Well, I wanted to do my faux Boston JFK. Oh yeah, I did not have. Then I'm like, I'm gonna be offensive to all my people.
I did not have.
My favorite thing with Bubba. And it was absolute genius. And he proved himself to be one of the smartest people in the world when he did this, is when they were trying to impeach him. And they asked him a question, and his reply was, can you define the word is? And you could see them all go, what? What?
What?
And I watched that because I knew what he was getting at. I'm like, this man's a goddamn genius. They're all out of their league here. This is okay. His morals may be in question. I won't stick up him for that, but he's the smartest person in the room right now.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Did you now? But you did hear right, and it was a couple of years later, right? But Monica Lewinsky, actually, the same cleaners, she brought a dress into the cleaners, and the owner of the cleaners actually he'd gotten a little older at that point, right? She brought it in. She needed it done by Saturday. And she's like, can I have this dress done by Saturday? I need the stain removed. And he said, come again? And she says, no, it's mayonnaise this time, she said.
And there's also cigar burns.
Yeah.
A friend of mine actually. He was screwing around with Photoshop. This is obviously like 98, 99, whatever. He's screwing around with Photoshop, and he designed a new cover of Cigar Aficionado magazine.
Oh no!
All right,
no.
And he had a picture of Monica Lewinsky on it, and one of the headlines on it was, "Bill and Monica talk about marinating your fine Cuban cigars."
Oh,
That's
now I don't want a cigar. Oh.
Oof. Okay.
On that note, folks.
Is that how we end the show?
Talk about a sour ale.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. I can back this up. Thank you.
That gives a whole new meaning to the term kettle sour, now, doesn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, I've tried my best here tonight.
I gotta love it. All right.
Yeah.
2 things before we go. Number 1, what's 2025 look like for Almanac?
Honestly, a little bit of the same. We want to check out our new space, see how we vibe with it. One thing we really like to do is we like to fill out the community around us. Our new spot, our existing spot in Alameda, if you guys haven't been there a little while, we actually astroturfed the entire thing outside.
Really?
We
Oh,
have
great.
not
So,
one-
so you mean Aaron Rodgers should probably not visit there because his seats will be
Not for him.
Yeah,
Not for him.
him.
Yeah, he's not good with that kind of thing. But we've astroturfed the entire thing. We actually have not one but 2 sandboxes for kids to play in.
I remember you had the one.
Now I have 2. Now we have 2. We have 2 now.
You got 2 places to bury the body. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why that's why I'm still the maintenance guy. You gotta dig a hole. But we love being sort of now our Alameda spot, especially. We make a point to being family inclusive. We want mom to come, we want dad to come, we want the kids to come, we want grandma and grandpa to come. We have wine for them, we have soft drinks for all the kids. We actually have slushies just for kids, non-alcoholic slushies. We want everybody to come. Everyone's available.
You'll make the parents happier if the slushies were alcoholic.
I have those too.
So
Don't you worry about that. Oh,
no. To give to the kids so they sleep.
There's a few laws in the way of that.
Oh, I forgot about
that old.
Yeah,
maybe that'll be the 4th thing we promise as.
Maybe
bring down the drinking age.
No drinking age. Yeah.
But being inclusive to the family, bringing everyone all together, and bringing that environment to our new spot in Oakland. Everybody's invited. Of course, craft beer itself, alcohol is an adult activity. We want everyone to come over. We want you to bring your kids.
Puppers?
Huh?
About puppers. There was a lot of puppers in Alameda when I was there.
I'll have a puppers. Oh yeah, of course. All the puppers are invited. We actually have a dog water station at our new place.
Love that.
Yeah, we have the adult water station, and then below we have bowls you can just fill with water. Have a great time, guys. We have milk bones behind the bar, little milk bone stations.
There you go.
Yes, we're ready to go.
You're hitting all the notes.
We want to make, and that's also one of the reasons, without being again boring. One of the reasons they invited us to this new spot in Oakland is we're here for everybody. We're not just one of those sour guy, rude. What do you want? Take a beer and get out of here. The adults only. We want everyone to come. We want to have you there. We want to have your high school reunion here. We want to have your kid's birthday party there. We want to have all of it there.
Why not? Why the hell not? Absolutely.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. And that's awesome. So
question number 1. What's number 2, John?
Number 2. How happy were you? We probably should have done these in the opposite order, but how as far as living where you do, how happy were you with the outcome of last night's Monday Night Football game?
Oh, thrilled to pieces! Don't get me wrong. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
person that John lives with, not as thrilled.
She was not.
Oh no! Well, someone's got to win, someone's got to lose.
Now I'm gonna show this really quick. So last October, the person I'm my better half, if you will. She ran much better half. She ran the Giants 5K at MetLife.
Oh.
And it finished on the field in MetLife Stadium. So we're on the field and we're walking around, and I found the exact spot where last year happened. And it just so happens that, ironically, there's a crutch there. I don't know why. That is the exact spot that last year's
Aaron Rodgers.
Right, last year.
Well, yeah.
All right.
By the way, did you love his stunned look on the ground of going, "What's happening?"
But I digress. What that they played. They need to change their things up. Maybe the defense wasn't as good as they thought, Jets wise. But hey, kudos to San Francisco. Hey, you know what? In the beginning, and I will tell you this: in the beginning, I was a Super Bowl wise, I was a Chiefs fan. So hypothetically speaking, Super Bowl in February of 2020, when the Chiefs played the 49ers, I was rooting for the Chiefs. I will admit it. I was rooting for the Chiefs. All right. The Chiefs have become the Patriots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So the Super Bowl this year, I was rooting for the Patriots. I was rooting for the 49ers.
Absolutely.
I was rooting for the 49ers.
And the thing is, all the Jets.
And I don't hate Patrick Mahomes. All right, especially since his father was Ahmed. Yeah.
But it's hard. It's hard to hate him.
I don't hate Patrick Mahomes. I don't hate Travis Kelce. I don't hate Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Individually, I don't hate. I have no disrespect or ill will for anybody on the Chiefs. I'm just over the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Right.
You've had your time in the sun.
Right.
I've heard all about your girlfriend and her songs.
Right.
Thank you very much. Ready to go.
And one day she'll write a song about you. We're just waiting for that.
Yeah, I know. As soon as you miss that catch, it's gonna be a song about
No, I say that in jest because you look at the two of them; they're so adorable together.
I honestly think this one is going to work.
I think this is actually going to work. I think this is finally it.
But the thing is, doesn't, we'll hear about
especially since she grew up in Pennsylvania.
There'll be a whole new album.
Especially since she grew up in Pennsylvania, and her favorite team growing up was the Eagles, and her brother-in-law was an Eagle. So
now he's in the booth, and he's fantastic in the booth.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady the other day, not so much.
No, not so much.
Yeah, not everyone's for the booth. Not everyone's for the booth.
Not
everyone's a radio guy. Not everyone's for the booth.
Give him time. It was his first game. Give him time.
But all the Jets fans were so excited going into that game, knowing that McCaffrey was done for the season. You guys, McCaffrey's fantastic. You can win without him.
Oh, I mean, you can shoot our guys as we've seen, and they'll still be great.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, we've seen
McCaffrey done for the season.
Yeah,
can he even play?
Yeah.
Well, let's face it. There are some teams out there that can.
So I need to know because I need to plan accordingly because I have him in 2 of my 6 fantasy football leagues.
And let's face it, there are some teams.
Honestly,
there's some teams in the league that could probably shoot somebody on the field, and they'll penalize the other team for getting in the way of the bullet.
Yeah,
100%. And one of them is the Chiefs.
Yes,
yes. Well, because the Chiefs, like you said, they're the new Patriots.
The new Patriots.
Yeah. If you looked at Brady wrong, flag went.
Right. I want to make the joke. If anyone's going to shoot someone on the field, it's going to be a Raiders person. sorry.
In Las Vegas, it's fine.
They're in Vegas now. It's accurate. But the thing about the Raiders is every time you had a team that had a player that was talented, but with just too much of a handful in it for any other team, they wound up on the Raiders.
Yep.
Every time.
Oh yeah.
Randy Moss.
I'm shocked Odell Beckham didn't make his way over to Las Vegas.
That's true too. But we won a Super Bowl with Hostetler. Then he turned into such an asshat, and then the Raiders said, "we'll pick him up. He's such an ass."
He spent a year or two in Washington in between, but still.
Yeah.
But I digress. My Giants the other day, and I say that
not wanting to take
full ownership of my Giants, right? All right. If I were Brian Dable or Joe Shane or John Mara for that matter, Daniel Jones would never play another snap for the Giants, and I would put in Drew Lock. I would put in Drew Lock for one game, just to see if there was any improvement. Great. If not, Tommy Collins the rest of the season. Tommy Collins the rest of the season. But last Friday night, I was at FanFest.
Oh,
at MetLife.
Why?
And because it was actually fun as opposed to the game on Sunday.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, there was still hope.
Right. And they had many of the top 100 Giants. Obviously, Lawrence Taylor was there as well. And by the way, that was another thing. I don't know how you feel about it, Kevin, but they said number one or the best defensive player ever in the NFL. Of course, everybody's saying Lawrence Taylor. Of course, I would as well. But there were a couple of people that are writing in that cokehead. Screw him. Reggie White was the best. Was the number one. I have full respect.
Comes to mind, yeah.
Right, and I love Reggie White and I love Ronnie Lott. But I think both of them would tell you that Lawrence Taylor was the best.
Yeah.
Kevin, you appreciate this. Where I used to work, same company, just different location. We would have a team spirit day where you'd wear the jersey from your team.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
So one of our HR guys grew up in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh.
I show up wearing my Mark Bavaro jersey. He shows up wearing his Ronnie Lott jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Did he get on your back and you carried him?
He looks at me and goes, "Bavaro, really?
Yeah.
This means you need to carry me around the rest of the day."
Yeah.
Do you know the play?
No.
There was a play where the Giants were playing the 49ers, and kudos to him that he remembers this and honors it even, where Mark Bavaro gets the ball. It starts off as like an 8-yard pass. It turns into like a 43-yard gain as Mark Bavaro dragged the 49ers offense a good chunk of the field. Part of that, Ronnie Lott is draped around his neck at the time.
That one.
That one. He's wearing Ronnie like a cape.
I missed that about that part of that time. It's just like a tractor going down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just kept those legs going, but I had to give him credit that he remembered. There it is, right there. There's Ronnie. There's Ronnie.
I remember. Oh, so much fun.
But to his credit, the guy I work with is like, oh, so you got to carry me around the rest of the day because he remembered the play. And that's why I wear the Bavaro jersey anywhere I'll go, because Bavaro is one of those players that nobody hates.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, every team has that one player that nobody hates except for the Cowboys, and everyone hates every Cow. Actually, there's Cowboys I don't hate. There's
Cowboys. It's weird too. Like I said before,
I love Emmitt Smith.
My most hated team is the Cowboys. When players were playing for the Cowboys, I hated them. Yeah. Once they retired, no, I like them. Yeah. I love Emmitt Smith. Roger Staubach back in the day. Even Troy Aikman to a point. I mean, I actually feel bad for Troy Aikman because he has to deal every Monday night with Joe Buck's head up his ass. You know, so I mean that's got to be an issue for him. So,
but then also
Kevin didn't hear me. I got to say it again.
Oh, sorry, my wife actually was nice enough to bring me a beer.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah. I just said
best part of being a newlywed.
There you go.
Oh, what do you got there? What do you have there?
What is it?
I don't know. Let's see what she brought me. It's in a, by the way, also lovely Marin Brewing Company, no longer with us.
No, they're not. My brother was a fan of Marin Brewing.
Good.
It's definitely something lagery, whatever she brought me.
Lagery, I like that. You should name a beer that Lagery.
Lagery.
I like that.
LAGER-E.
Y.
-EY.
Yeah,
you're both right. So anyway, no, I was just what did I even say before?
So we're talking about the Cowboys and how you like it.
Oh yeah, what I said was even the Cowboys, as much as I'm not a fan of the Cowboys by any means, once players stop playing for the Cowboys, I actually do appreciate it. Emmitt Smith, Roger Staubach. I mean, even right now, I like Troy Aikman, and I almost feel bad for him because he has to deal every Monday night with Joe Buck's head up his ass. You know, so,
yeah.
But I love Moose Johnson in the booth.
Oh, absolutely, yeah,
he's fantastic.
I think it's come down to the fact that, like, I mean, back in the day, I didn't like Cowboy fans only because they really let the Giants have it. They've mellowed now since the Giants have been to 3 Super Bowls and won 2 since the last time the Cowboys were in a championship game. Even
here's something else for Kevin though,
hold on. Let me just finish. But I think I've figured out what I dislike the most right now about the Cowboys, and it's actually something that every Cowboy fan dislikes the most about the Cowboys, and that's Jerry Jones. But that's besides.
Yeah.
There you go.
But for Kevin, one thing. See, you guys had, oh God, I just forgot his name. The original overly arrogant wide receiver.
Jerry Rice?
No. Jerry Rice was never arrogant.
Like, yeah, don't hurt my feelings like
that. I didn't know where he was going with that. I'm like, wide receiver.
No. More recent.
Terrell Owens.
T.O.
Yeah.
He started this bullshit with these wide receivers being so fucking arrogant.
I was going to say, if you had said yes to me saying Jerry Rice, I'm like, the hell are you talking about?
I was like, yeah,
I love Jerry Rice. I love Jerry Rice. Yeah,
love Jerry Rice. Well, class individual.
Terrell Owens.
John, slap yourself for that one.
No, I was asking you if you
no.
I wasn't
the fact that even crossed your mind, slap yourself.
We said wide receiver. The first wide receiver for the 49ers that comes to my mind is Jerry Rice. I can't slap myself for that.
On that. You're not wrong.
You're right there.
The San Francisco wide receiver. Yeah.
One of the greatest wide receivers in the history of football.
You still find him walking around, oddly enough, San Francisco in this area. I knew people who got married at a golf course, and they're taking photos out on the bride and the groom, on the golf course. Jerry Rice comes over, takes a couple photos. Thanks very much. Thank you, Jerry. Hey, let's get a couple photos with me like this, and a couple photos of me like this, and this, and this, and it became an entire Jerry Rice photo shoot. And they're like, "We are getting married. Can you please
leave now?
Get out?" And then they said,
or stay and watch. Right?
And then I don't know.
At least bring a present.
The same people are said, "Oh, look," and sort of like out of a platitude, we're having the reception in the clubhouse. Come on by for a drink or two. Who shows up and steals the entire show? That's shaking everybody's mom's hand and your aunt from Columbus, Ohio.
Love it.
Hi,
Love
I'm
it.
Jerry
Love
Rice.
It. Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah,
but how
kind of love it. Kind of.
But what was the feeling around San Francisco when he was when he was a Raider? That's the question.
It was weird, no lie. It was very much like you went there.
It's like you
kind of like Saquon going to Philly,
No, it's even worse than that because
it's not because the Raiders are not in the division with 49ers.
Yeah, that's kind of the weird.
It kind of
thing
equals.
The Niners, the Raiders. We hate each other, like,
but you don't play each other.
But we're not in the same division, so we can't be that angry with each other. But then we can, I mean, if you've ever been on a BART train in San Francisco or in the Bay Area, you just heard Raiders for no apparent reason. You go, what the hell are these people screaming about now? Well, at an A's game, they start screaming at Raiders. It's a different sports, guys. What's the problem? So when he went to the Raiders, it was like, man, you were like our buddy for the longest time, and I get it. Maybe they paid you a little more, but you had to go there. If you went to the Chargers or I don't know, the Seahawks, who gives a damn?
Yeah,
right.
Them, it's like the family you don't quite get along with.
I kind of look at it like you're a kid, your parents got divorced, and your father just married his ex-wife's sister, so now he's married to your aunt.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is really weird.
Yes.
this should not be.
Honestly, or along the same line, like if like your dad married your teacher. Like, why? God. I don't like her. Why?
Well, that was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, wasn't it?
Yeah. Why would you do that to me, man?
Missy? Was no, but my point about T.O. was that the reason I will always, and it has nothing to do with the Niners. I've never had a problem with the Niners, but I will always hate T.O. And the reason I will always hate him is for one game, he made me root for Dallas. Because he scores a touchdown in Dallas Stadium, takes the ball and slams it down in the middle of the star.
Yeah.
Disrespects the stadium. Fine. Okay, cool. Very next possession, Emmitt Smith scores a touchdown, marches it right back to the star and slams the ball down. And
took back the star.
Took back his house. Yeah. And that I've got a lot of respect for. And I started cheering, for Dallas, and I went, holy fuck, I'm shooting for the Cowboys. Fuck you, T.O.
By the way, Kev, there's my moniker, Jersey Johnny, is a double entendre. Obviously, I'm from New Jersey, but I also collect way too many jerseys.
He does.
That being stated,
there you go.
There you go. What number are we? I can't.
What number is that?
It's George Kittle. It's 85.
Oh, you mean like this? Can I step away for 2 seconds?
Go ahead.
Oh, but he's got something in the closet over there. I'm suspecting. This probably shouldn't take too long because it's right there.
And he's looking, and he has not found it yet, and he's searching.
You gotta remember, he just moved, so things are a little disorganized.
It's right in here somewhere. I might know it. Got to be.
Oh, I just.
And he didn't.
No,
It's
he didn't. I saw.
still
I
looking.
Could have sworn
Maybe it's back here. He's got to go over
no,
here.
there is. He just moved, so things aren't where he's.
Oh no. There's reasons. That's fine.
Yeah, there's reasons. This is taking longer than we thought it would take.
He's checking.
He didn't say 2 minutes, so we're only about 37 seconds.
He give me. Oh, did he say? I said 1 minute. Give me a minute.
Yeah, I thought he said 2 minutes.
Maybe some of there. Well, we're over a minute now. So
are we over a minute?
Yeah, it's over a minute now.
And we're over a minute now.
We're over a minute now. Only a minute. There it is.
He found it. He's found it once he got here.
Yeah.
And what? We got to wait for him to put his headphones back.
I mean, this is anticlimactic because we know what it is, right?
Well, we have a feel. We have a thought. There's a suspicion that we know what he's pulled up here, and what.
So there's the 85. You can only see the top of the 85.
There's the 85 as well. Now I have the George Kittle, but I also have someone who's very near and dear to my heart, Vernon Davis.
Vernon Davis.
That man was
a
beast.
Loved Vernon Davis. Watching him just stomp across, just hitting the grass like he was mad at it with his cleats.
Well, the thing with Vernon Davis is like they'd hit him on the sidelines.
Yeah.
And you'd have a bunch of people try to knock him out of bounds. And he's like, hell if. I'm not going out of bounds. I'm going to ride this. You're going to bounce off me, and I'm going to get an extra 13 yards off of this pass. Because it's going to take 3 of you to knock me out.
Right.
And by the way, I do need to stop the clock, but I'm going to stop the clock when I fucking want to stop the clock.
Yeah, when I feel like it damn good and well.
Oh, yeah. He was a special player.
Yeah, I have my Kittle jersey somewhere. I'm lightly worried that I can't find it, but yeah.
Well, if you don't show the back of your Vernon Davis jersey, you have a George Kittle jersey. So.
And while you're aware, we're making excuses for you. It's like he just moved. Things are out of order. They're not
I can't.
And with all due respect to Vernon Davis, and with all due respect to the 49ers, right? Vernon Davis did, unfortunately for him, lose the NFC Championship game in January of 2012.
Shush! Why would you bring that up?
Yeah. Look, I still got
because I have nothing to cheer about right now. That's why.
I love from the boy.
When it comes to football, John's Nelly negative right now. When it comes to football,
yeah, him with Coach Harbaugh. I'll never forget.
It was the last other. If exclude the Super Bowl, it was the last meaningful playoff game that the Giants won, and that was almost 13 years ago.
It's coming. Don't worry, man.
He's piercing us both in the heart right here.
It's okay. It comes for us all.
Anyway.
All right. Before we descend into a sports cast.
Yes.
No. I was just going to say that the whatchamacallit, geez, what the hell am I saying here? The Fan Fest on Friday night last week was great. We're on the field, but then there's me and my son at it. There.
Oh, great!
There you go. We'd love to see that. Yeah. So back to beer.
Back to beer.
Kev, with Anchor not yet back, we're gonna put it that way. Mm-hmm. When you're not drinking an Almanac, where do you drink?
Honestly, that's a great question. I love that, by the way. A handful of places. I mean, for starters,
you got the other breweries in Alameda.
Yes, I mean, we have Ghost Town, which is all around the East Bay.
I was going to ask you, did Ghost Town survive?
Ghost Town has survived. Now they're in a weird limbo right now. Okay. They bought this enormous building here in Alameda, and they said we're going to build our own brewery here, and they were going to kind of.
Oh, they're coming to Alameda.
Yeah, so they bought this building. It's an old gas works or something like that.
Most everything in Alameda is abandoned anyway.
We're all just
it was a naval base, right?
Yeah, we're all giant military buildings, hangars, so on and so forth. But they've kind of been hitting the pause button. They bought it, they've been fixing it up, they've hit the pause button, and we don't know what's going to happen to them, honestly. So it's quite weird because, again, my experience in this is when you go from medium-sized brewery to big brewery, there's a lot of bills you don't quite know about, and I'm wondering if they got stuck in that situation
Oh,
where you go, oh yeah, this pipe, literally this one pipe is $25,000.
right.
That happens, especially with California and our sort of earthquake codes. Oh, that one pipe is $25,000, and you need 8 of them.
You need it.
That's
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
Jesus.
what? That's 200 grand. Yeah, sucks to be you. You know,
Exactly.
you got a check handy. So they're sort of in that weird spot, but I love all the Ghost Town beers. Cellar Maker is what I'm having right now. Cellar
Okay.
Maker
You
is
figured it out.
brilliant.
Well, yeah, I was about to ask him that, and you asked him that question when we were done with
Yeah.
football. But
Cellar
so
Maker- yeah, it's a Cellar Maker Hellas. They do great beers. They do.
I've actually, you know what? I've actually had that beer. Cellar Maker Hellas is very good.
damn
Very
good.
It's very good.
No complaints about that at all.
100%.
Those guys are great.
And speaking of beer and last week's Fan Fest, I just have to say this for Dave. Okay, in the parking lot tailgating prior to going into the Fan Fest, I was having that beer right there.
Oh.
And do you know what that is, Dave?
If it's dark and you're bringing me up, is there coffee in that?
No, there's no coffee in that.
Oh, then I don't know.
That is a home brew.
Ooh.
All right.
From Mr. Well, it wouldn't have been classified a homebrew about 10 years ago.
10 years ago would be actual brew because he had a brewery then. But
It's a Boats Brewing beer.
It's the Brown Magic Dark Mild that he brewed, and it was fantastic.
You've had it since he brought it up on the show.
I've had it. I had it last Friday night.
Ooh.
There you go.
Well,
Sorry. Where'd that come from?
Hold on. Take that back, because I have a 16-ounce bottle of it in my fridge for you and I to share.
Oh, there we go.
All right. So, would you like to retract that finger?
So now you have in Alameda.
Yes.
There are, and I visited both of these, Faction and Humble Sea. Your neighbors.
Yes.
I've been to both. When we went to Faction, they were having their anniversary parties. We had to buy tickets to get in.
Correct.
But it was still a lot of fun. They do some good stuff there. This is a hangar brewery.
Yep.
Yeah, you walk back into the production facility, you're like, wow, I could park a dirigible in here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what she said.
The Hindenburg fits back here. Yeah.
Oh no, it wouldn't. I've actually been in the hangar that housed the Hindenburg.
Oh really? Oh, I would die for that.
A lot of people did die. No, sorry.
33. I did all my high school reports on the Hindenburg.
Really? Did
so,
you?
Yeah, you're out of your depths on this one.
Yeah, no, I'm gone.
Oh yeah, I got.
I've only been in the hangar because that's Lakehurst.
I gotta find that. Yeah, Lakehurst, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Back in JK
1991 or 92, one of the two. Forget which year it was. Played a concert in that couple of bands I was in, right in front of the hangar on the beginning of the tarmac, right there.
What the interesting thing is about that hangar is so big that it has its own
zip code.
No. Weather.
Really?
It does have its own weather. Yeah, absolutely.
It has its own weather in that hangar. It is massive. It is absolutely massive, and it
has its own state government. There you go.
God, it really should. Couldn't be any worse than our state government.
Weird German tendencies, but yeah, they're fine.
I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
No. But so we did that. We did Humble Sea. That was.
And you did Humble Sea. Ironically, just talking about it now, I mentioned what Dave drank. The first beer I had on the show when you were on last December was Humble Sea.
Yeah, they're great people. They make great beers. Love them all around. No bad stuff to tell about them.
Yeah, when you get to Alameda, there's some damn good drinking all around there.
Yeah, we have great beer bars. We have great breweries. In fact, next door to Almanac is actually a malting company. Admiral Malting.
That's kind of convenient, isn't it?
It is damn convenient.
Yeah, everything I've drank on the show does not include their malt.
And then, of course, up front, they have their bar called The Rake, which serves all the beers and whiskeys that are made with their malt.
Oh, I missed
So the
out on
malts go out to different breweries and distilleries, and then they bring it back.
and then they come back.
Serve it there.
And it's
That's
like a
awesome.
showcase.
I love that.
Yeah, it's quite brilliant. So I mean, when it was just beers for a couple of years, that was great. They started adding, their bourbons, their whiskeys, so on and so forth. I mean, even Highland Park whiskey, actual Scotch whiskey uses their malts, so you can find it over there.
That's
at
really
the
cool.
rake. So they're very good at that kind of thing, and they're very smart guys that they can, well, you want malted corn? We'll figure it out. Great, bring us 10 tons of corn. Yeah. So they'll figure it out as they go, and then then you get some funky Mexican lager, and you say, how is this a thing? Well, the corn's made 10 feet behind our bar. So cool. So you got great places to go there. But yeah, I mean, Ghost Town, Cellar Maker, Admiral / the Rake is all great places I go to. I mean, I was at Lucky 13, which is a place I was at actually about 2 hours before I started the show.
You pregame the show. I love that.
Yeah, I rode my bike too. I wanted to play the game on hard mode. I rode my bike. Yeah. Yeah, went to Lucky 13, had a drink there. Those are great guys too. Absolutely. And you can usually find my wife and I at the Benton on a Wednesday night. The Benton's just I'm not going to say it's a hidden bar, but it's, as people in the industry, it's an industry type thing. You hear loud music all day long. You're just, music people have talking to you. This is an air conditioned bar. You still get kind of fun punk music, but you kind of turn it down for people in our late 30s and 40s, and you can kind of hear yourself think and breathe. And you can you can have a not cheap, but well-priced drink and air conditioning with fun and friends.
Late 30s and 40s.
I like that. And if there's any more of the story, is if you were visiting San Francisco, get on the damn ferry.
Yeah.
Get over at Alameda. There is so much to do there. There's so much to see. You've got the Hornet. You've got the breweries. There's a winery that pours there. Two of them. Two
wineries at the end of the block.
And there's a lot of eats.
Oh.
A lot of eats out there. Get over to Alameda. It's
also a distillery.
And the distillery is near the brewery we were talking about. It's one of the hangars.
Mm-hmm.
It's in one of the hangars. So get out there,
very nice.
Visit it, drink your way around. Get the ferry back, and then wherever you're staying, and if it's not within walking distance, Uber home, because you're going to need the Uber after doing Alameda.
Yeah. I love it.
Right?
We have a beer shuttle to shuttle you around to all of the beer spots.
That's right. And we saw that. We finally walked our way all around from the ferry over to Faction, then Double C. We got to and we saw the shuttle. We're like, we did something wrong. We did something wrong.
Yeah, it leaves every 30 minutes.
What the hell?
Take wherever you want to go.
We screwed up. But also there is it's only on the weekend that the ferry runs to the dock next to the Hornet.
Correct. Yeah, that would be the Alameda the San Francisco Bay Ferry. Yes, at Seaplane Station. Yes.
Yeah. So if it's the weekend, just take the one to the Hornet because Almanac's right there, and there's all these great places to go. Yeah, find some place to am I wrong in saying there's an In and Out in Alameda?
Yeah, there is about 5 minutes away from Almanac.
Yeah. So everything you could possibly want's right there.
There you go.
Right here for you.
I love
it. Right there.
All right. Beautiful. All right. Well, we topped last year's over an hour long show by another hour.
That's fine.
There we go.
There you go. All right.
We're approaching last week's.
We're approaching
two shows in one show.
In one this week. So
who's worried about it?
Not me.
I'm not. So all right. Kev, stick around for a second. We'll talk to you on that note, though. We will wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, unless my computer is shitting the bed.
Which is every fucking week.
Which is pretty much every week.
Yeah.
The goal is 6:30. Right?
Don't buy Apple.
Exactly. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Logger Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care.
I'm going to alter my statement. Don't buy Apple unless you want to renew every 6 months.
That's true. You can do that. You can do that.
You did earlier in the show set a challenge that
I did set a challenge.
What was that challenge?
The challenge was getting you to drink wine before the end of the show.
This was not a hard thing to do, considering there's no L in that word. Considering that today is International Port Wine
Happy
Day.
International Port Wine Day, folks. There you go.
So I do have a glass of port wine here poured. This is Juarez. So Juarez is one of my favorite
tequilas. Cities in Mexico.
That's Juarez. No, this is Juarez. You're right. I'm pronouncing it wrong. This is Juarez Orima 20. So Juarez makes one of my favorite late harvests ports. But Orima 20, they came out with these. It's a 20-year-old Tawny Porto.
A 20-year-old 20 port?
No, a 20-year-old Tawny Porto.
Oh, okay.
I did not slur that, but thanks for that. And the Orima, this is like kind of a newer label for ours. And so I bought one of these a while back. I loved it enough that I bought another one. And I really do enjoy port.
I do.
So, Kevin, you were talking earlier about Moscato. And Moscato is one of those sweeter wines.
Yes.
When you get a port, the original base wine is not sweet, but they fortify it. So there's sugar. There's is it brandy that they put in it?
It's brandy.
Yeah, it's brandy, and so it makes the wine sweet. And the reason they did this was so that it can be exported from Portugal to England. And the reason for that is England is really not known as a wine country.
They're not.
No.
I went to wine in March. I mean, sorry, how much have I had? I went to England in March. Yeah, they're not good at that.
No, they're not. But the thing, to their credit, they understand it. They're really good at stealing antiquities from every other country and putting them in their museum.
I saw them. Yeah,
they're really good at that. They're not good at wine, but they understand this. So when they went to war with France and realized we can't get good wine anymore, they turned to other countries, and it's like, okay, so back then there were no planes, there were no fast boats. All the boats they had sails. So they're like, we need. So what
were we talking about? Champagne, or
we'll get to what you're drinking in a second. So what they did is like, okay, so we're going to turn to Portugal for our wine, but the wine's not going to make it.
Yes.
So it needed to be fortified. So if you ever wondered why most of your ports have English names, your Taylor Flaggates, your Santamans, your Wars, it's because these are British companies that are taking Portuguese wine, fortifying it to come back to England.
Oh yeah.
And that's how port wine was invented.
There you go.
And I love it. I really do love it.
This is a story we had on another podcast too, but this is actually quite true.
If I may, there's a guy who owns a place called Brooklyn West. He owns a winery here. In theory, it's in Oakland. Of course, the fields are out in the valley. But he came from a Portuguese port house. And he is one of the smartest guys I've ever met in my life about knowing his way around wine and sweetness and port especially. And he makes, I don't like port, but I'll drink his port all day long. He makes the best port.
and probably not in 2025. In 2026, I plan to be in Porto. And my liver has already filed many complaints on this.
It's actually filed divorce paperwork. Actually,
it has. It's not divorce paperwork. It's trying to do what Lindsay.
Oh no!
Lohan did with her parents.
Don't fool yourself. It's divorce paperwork.
No. It's what Lindsay Lohan did with her parents. It's trying to. What was the word that was used?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a word there. Jesus, I can't remember it. But but it's trying to break from the rest of my body as if.
Its own thing.
Yes, it's its own thing. Because it absolutely fears me going to Porto and getting on the north bank of the Douro River.
Yep.
Right there, and going through all those port houses, Juarez, Taylor Fladgate, Fonseca. And I've lost the name of my favorite one. John knows it, and he's probably can't remember it.
And all that.
Sentiments. That's not my favorite one. There's another one, but there's so many fucking great ports that come out of there, and I will hit all of them all in one night. The shame of it is I won't remember it. I probably won't remember it because I will be too damn drunk.
When are you gonna come to the West Coast so I can hang out with you guys again?
Okay. Well, no, I need to come back up. Definitely need to come back up there again. I was on the West Coast in August, but we were up in Seattle and Vancouver. So we're in the far north West Coast. Oh God, hit so mmany breweries there, Kev. Not as many as I expected to do. So John said he would drink some port with me.
Yeah, I just poured a tiny little. I rinsed this out. I just poured a tiny little bit. So
you've got port wine. I've got sparkling wine.
So what are you drinking there, Kevin? What'd your wife bring you?
My wife brought me. This is just simple old. It's called Paul Clement. This is a simple.
All right. Maybe I'll pour a little bit more than I did.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, I did drain my bottle for the show.
There you go.
There's a bottle of Fonseca over there, but
we got coupe glasses for a wedding, so now we have to use them. I told her I was on the video.
Well,
so
here's the thing.
Brought the glass, nice glassware.
I love the fact that you're using a coupe glass because we have discussed this on the other show where a coupe glass was the original champagne glass.
Oh, yeah.
Right. What we call a champagne glass now, I think, is one of the poorest vessels that you could pour champagne in.
The flute is terrible.
The flute's awful.
The flute's terrible.
And if you watch every James Bond movie, when he drinks champagne, it is out of a champagne coupe.
Yeah.
Coupe, absolutely.
As it should
be. And we're doing the cocktail show that we do. There's one guy, and I'll say it right here on the show. There's a guy called the Thirsty Whale. He's on Instagram. He's a bartender. He's a mixologist or whatever. He makes some amazing cocktails. And then he's a big fan of freezing his glasses before he puts.
Really?
Yeah, okay. He does, right? And he always says,
for cocktails, I like that. I don't like that for beer.
Not for beer.
Don't do it for beer. No.
Not for beer, for cocktails. Okay? And he says, and when referring to coupes, he says, don't be a poop, freeze your coupe.
Freeze your coupe.
Okay.
That almost sounds dirty.
But I mean, don't you feel a little Great Gatsby-ish like this?
A little Great Gatsby.
Oh, yeah.
Gatsby.
Absolutely.
You know.
A coupe is classy as hell.
It is.
The Sentiments, I when I finish a bottle of the Sentiments, I always get to know. There's many other ports that I like better, but this particular Sentiments, it's just I always grab a bottle. It's the Ruby Porto, the Founders Reserve Sentiments. It's so good.
So with the Automa 20 emptied, I poured a little bit of the Fonseca Porto 20 port. So I'm actually stepping down from a 20-year into something a little.
This, by the way, those of you listening to this now, yes, this is actually a beer podcast.
Yeah.
But it's International Port Wine Day.
It is International Port Wine Day, so we're just concluding.
And I've said it many times, a samurai does not live on beer alone.
Beer alone, exactly. All right.
Well, so, wait a second. But Kevin hadn't stopped talking about
I'm sorry,
his champagne.
Oh, no, just simple old Paul Clement. It's a common French champagne. We had it this is actually leftover from our wedding.
So what are you saying? You said common.
It's not fancy. It's not expensive. It's just right down the middle French champagne. It's not a very expensive. It's not, terroir, this, that, and the other thing. It's just a lovely, just simple, right down the middle French champagne. Sparkling wine, we might say.
And well, if it's not made in Champagne,
No, this is actually champagne, though. Yes,
so
you're correct.
Yeah. So that's but that's the whole thing. You get and there will be a series of articles that will pop up on the Locker Room Guys website. So John, you wanted me to write about the Seattle
Yes.
Vancouver trip. I'm gonna change gears a little bit because there's a few things I want to do, but there's gonna something that's going to come up in those writings. Because being the beer samurai,
Which is not an easy job.
it's not an easy job. But someone's got to do it, and
Always got to do it.
And I've been up to the task for decades now. But being the beer samurai, there's something that I introduced years ago, and I never really kind of fleshed out. And I'm going to flesh it out in these articles. And this is the first time John's hearing this. Actually, I should have told him this before. But the samurai of medieval Japan had Bushido. Right? Bushido was the way of the warrior.
Bushido, yeah.
And decades ago, I developed something called Bushido, which is the way of the beer warrior.
Absolutely.
And so I'm going to really expound upon that because there was the 7 morals of the way of the warrior, expanded to 8, and I'm going to actually take it to the 8 when I write these articles. So there'll be an introductory, there'll be then 8 after that, and then we'll talk more about some of the voyages I have taken and all that. But there are many. But the key point of this is there's this erudition in so many we're starting to see it in the beer world. But it's been so pervasive in the wine world for so damn long. Let's call it erudition. Snobbery is another way to put it. So I love the fact that you are drinking this common champagne because you're drinking what you like, right? And that's the important thing. Do you enjoy it? That's the most important thing to you. We had Marty Nakel on the show. We discussed how when you taste a beer, you're going to taste a beer. When you judge something, you're going to judge against the style. You're going to judge it by what it is. And that's great. That's fine. And when you rate something, rate it that way. Yeah. Rate it against what it's supposed to be. But when it comes to you and it comes to your personal taste, fuck all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's super hard for people to understand, and I don't blame them at all. When I first got into this, you start getting into things like we're mentioning, like Untapped and ratings and
rate beer.
I mean, and especially, rate beer. Now, especially on the West Coast, Pliny the Younger.
Oh,
the big boogeyman. You have to shoot. Okay, here's the deal. Ready? You hear me? Okay, you gotta show up at O'Halligan's at 2 p.m. on Wednesday, and you gotta wear a blue hat, you gotta wear one shoe, and you gotta do this thing. You get a shot at having this beer, and you have it, and to the untrained professional, I don't mean we're rude. You fall for the hype and you go, I'll never have anything as good as this. But when you have that beer 2 or 3 times, you go, hang on now. Time out. There's a lot of other beers as good as this or good as this.
Or even better.
You don't have to do the hokey pokey to go get a glass of it, and knock on this door and here's the password and all this other racket. I'm sorry, I'm so tired of that on the West Coast. But
it's ridiculous, and I respect.
You're preaching to the choir.
I respect Russian River, but that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
love Vinny. I think he's a great guy. But you reach that level where you go once you've been. I mean, if this is like the gas gauge from empty to full, from non-bougie to bougie, once you get up there, you go, wait a minute.
this is kind of a lot of a facade. I mean, not that they're not bad beers, they're not made poorly, but you go, hang on, there's stuff here at the mid-level that are just as good as the other things, but they don't have the marketing hype and train behind them. And I mean, and the reason I feel like I feel that way for the most part is most of my brewers, you know what most of my brewers will drink on a day out? On a day out when they're just at a liquor store, what most of my brewers will drink out?
Good.
Miller High Life.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
their day out beer.
That's the whole thing about brewers.
Mhm.
Brewers drink American adjuncts.
Yeah.
You go to a brewery, you're more likely to see a PBR than anything else.
Absolutely. I mean, when I went out, one of the experiences I was blessed to see was I went to the GABF, the Great American Beer Festival in Colorado, with our head brewer and a couple of the other brewers. And the one place they could not get enough of was Bierstadt.
Oh, well,
in
of
Colorado,
course.
which is just 4 beers.
Yeah.
Helles, Pilsner, maybe I don't know what else is like an amber and whatever, but there's no IPAs, there's no double IPAs, there's no
Because the brewers
100%, and cohesion. Same thing with Czech.
2 beers.
By the way,
Say four.
what's up to my buddy Dan at Cohesion? Dan, best dude ever. Dan's the best guy ever. I love those guys. Cohesion and I mean, of all the places to be, we went to our mutual friend, Cohesion, and Bierstadt 3 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
No need for anything complicated.
But that's the whole thing with
You got to go to Avery once.
Oh
You
yeah,
gotta
no,
go
nothing wrong with Avery. Don't get me wrong.
You got to go out to Boulder, go to Avery once.
And-
But in Denver, yes, our mutual friends, Bierstadt, and Cohesion.
and sleep in the parking lot. If
Yeah.
you're on Avery.
Yeah.
But that whole point with Pliny the Younger, it's the hype of the rarity of it. Right.
Yes.
So for the longest time, what was considered the best beer on the planet came out of Belgium.
Mhm.
Because to go there and get beer, you had to register your license plate.
Westy. Yeah.
Westy. And I've had Westy.
Me too. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's a great beer. Hold up your water bottle. Your laptop again.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. All day, every day. I know what you're gonna say.
Saint Bernardus is a better beer.
It is easy.
It is.
Well, other way, more available, easy to find, delicious, never fails.
But I think it's a better.
I know.
beer.
I love West Letteren 12.
I do.
I will drink St. Bernardus 12 every day of the week over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. So my brother's really, he's really into beer, and it got to the point. He's older than me. He finally got to the point where it's like, okay, my younger brother actually knows a little bit more than I do, because at one point I'm at his place. He pours me a beer, doesn't tell me what it is, and he goes, "So what is this?" I said, "Seriously, you're going to pour me one of my favorite beers out of Florida that's barrel aged and ask me what it is?"
Yeah.
And he just turned and walked away because it was Buffalo in the snow. But so he's learned. Ask me. So he's in Minneapolis, and he's like, "Where should I go?" I said, "You need to go to Surly."
Oh.
And he's like, "But I just had a Surly down in the bar of my hotel. It wasn't that good." I was like, "Well, because they gave you Furious. Furious is not that great of a beer. You need to go to the brewery. You need to get an abrasive." And trust me enough, he goes to the brewery. He gets an abrasive. All I get is a picture of a beer in a glass. He doesn't tell me what it is. All he says, he goes, "Is it sacrilege to say this is better than Pliny?"
No.
And I said, "No." I said, "You'll be accurate."
No.
Because Surly Abrasive is one of the best aggressive IPAs out there. This is just a phenomenal beer. I'm like, I said, this is exactly why I sent you there, so that you understand a beer does not need to be hard to get
Yeah.
to be world class.
One of the I hope Vinny can't hear me. I hope he can't. One of the things I tell people all the time, they go, I heard it's the best. It's the best. It's on Rate Beer and Untapped. They go, look, 10 years ago,
Absolutely.
before we had, now like I said, as a guys in this industry, we just kind of sent you a beer and whatever happens, happens. Dude, honestly, I'm the biggest fan of Surly that's never been to Surly.
Same.
So when
I'll argue on that.
I'm sorry to be a little weird about this. When I learned how to homebrew, which is how I started this whole thing, I used to follow these guys called Northern Brewer.
Yeah.
And they used to talk about Surly all the time.
That was the second time I was at Surly. This was the first time there.
Oh, man, I need to get to Surly.
You're really working on breaking the record of number of selfies.
I am. Well, we're at 3 hours and 20 minutes now.
Yeah, I know.
We're 25 minutes beyond the outro. I just wanted to point that out. we're half of a normal show beyond the outro.
Over, yeah.
Not half, a third.
Okay.
But I was always so in love with Surly. I wanted to try it. I always heard about it. And when I worked at 21st Amendment in San Leandro, I just told this guy, yeah, I love Surly. Never spoke to me again. And then 4 months later, he just shows up out of the blue and he has a whole case of Surly beers. He goes, I brought these for you. Can we trade? And of course I did.
Of course.
And I'm still in trouble because I drank all the, what's it called? The Fury, was it Bender? The one with the coffee in it?
Yes.
Oh,
Bender.
Yeah, Bender.
Coffee Bender, yeah.
My wife loves coffee, and I drank all of them. I didn't give her any of them.
Oh, you're a bad husband.
I'm still in trouble.
Okay, I actually went through my cellar 2 weeks ago. I'm saying this right now. I went through my cellar 2 weeks ago, and in my cellar is just all stouts and barley wines and stuff like that. There's no, Gene can bust my chops. Gene can bust my chops all he wants. There's no IPAs in there, right? But I did find behind like 3-4 packs of like stouts and stuff like that, and some other bottles. I found one can of Surly Coffee Bender.
I'll trade you 2 to 1.
You don't want it because it's at least 3 years old, so it's probably nothing but green pepper.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So here's the thing:
you can have it if you want, and let me know. But
let's just see.
I'll send it with some coastal beers, and you can have at it.
A picture from the doghouse outside. I'll let you know.
But Kevin, no. I need to get back to San. I need to get Carrie back to San Fran because she spent most of the time in a business conference while I went out and had fun. We need to get out. We need to drink around with you, and we're just going to trust you as a tour guide.
Yeah, please do.
Of a liver killing tour guide. But
also, and maybe, depending on when this is, 2 other people will be joining them.
It's very possible.
Please do.
But also, you and I. We need to arrange because Johnny's already been there. So if he wants to come, that's great. But we need to organize you and I going to Surly.
Yes. Oh my God.
I'll go. All right.
Okay.
And I will. Well, I'll go to Surly, but then I will take you to the other Minneapolis breweries that you need to get to.
There we go.
Yeah. My Minneapolis brewing, like I said, home brewing revolution that I've been waiting for years is ready to happen.
Let's figure that out. We got to figure that out. In 2025 or 2026, we got to figure out how to get to Minneapolis, get to Surly, and just make it an evening that we won't remember.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always love looking at the photos in the morning, and you go, "What did I do? What happened?"
Believe it or not, that happened in April in Munich. When we were Carrie and I went to Montreal, and we met these guys.
Hey, it pains me to show this one after last Sunday's game, but there you go.
There you go.
There you go. But we met these guys.
For those of you listening on the audio podcast, it's me wearing a Vikings cap in front of US Bank Stadium. So.
John just went back to sports.
And you have 3 minutes because I really got to eat, and it's 11:15. So.
Yeah.
So real quick, we these guys from Austria, and when we went to Munich, they met us up in Munich, and so we drank around, and one kid, because we drank him under the table in Montreal, he was determined to drink me under the table in Munich. And so we're in Eyinger, and he sees next to Eyinger is an Irish pub, and he loves Guinness, and I have nothing wrong with that. So we go over there, but I introduced him to Irish car bombs, and I'm buying shots of Irish whiskey, because they had Slane, and I love Slane, and so we get tanked there. So we go over to Hofbrau. There are pictures from Hofbrau. I don't remember being in Hofbrau at all, but I look really, really happy. So I'll take it as a win.
Mm-hmm.
But being at the Hofbrau.
Not a Hofbrau.
Not a Hofbrau. The Hofbrau. This is Hofbrau München. So what there's part of me is like, I'm really sad that I wasn't sober enough to really understand where I was.
I'm at Hofbrau in
That's Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah, there you go.
That's outside.
Someday, we went to Vegas, but nothing else.
But I'm not sober enough to remember being there. But I'm also, the pictures show that I was really fucking happy to be there.
You were.
So it's still a win.
Nice.
All right. So I would say John closes up. You've closed us out already, haven't you?
Close us out already. I don't have to. So drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you in a couple of weeks. So Kevin, stick around. We'll talk to you in a second. Yeah. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks. Did I say that? Next week. We'll talk to you next week.
And yeah, that's
a couple of weeks is the other podcast, right? Exactly.
This is my third glass of port here.
Enjoy that. We'll talk to you next week, folks. Great show next week too. It's not, and you know what? Maybe it holds a candle to this one. We'll wait to see. Find out. Tune in next week.
How can a show be better than what we just had?
Well, Rod J. Beer Ventures is on. I don't think it's going to beat Kevy, but maybe it's
the best part of this show is we've never met Rod J.
Never.
Yep.
This is an unknown. This could go any damn direction.
It's going to be good because he's a frequent commenter.
Yes, he is.
And he's a great beer guy.
He's a great craft beer ambassador.
Absolutely is. So this is going to be an interesting show.
And he knows his shit. We know he knows his shit. Yeah. So it'll be like
tune in next week, and we will
tune in next week. Yeah.
We'll talk to you then, folks. Take care. Cheers.
Cheers. Let's launch it.